Yeah, yeah. Boo, boo, boo. She gon' bust it. She gon' rush it. She gon' yeah. What's up, baby? Tell me how you get the one up on me. Aye. And I know you ain't playing round. You about to have me down on one knee. Aye. I got that soul. Now she done came and snatched the soul out of me. Aye. She got that gold. She close enough. She open up. You go to sleep. Aye. Now if you ever get to meet her, better keep it shot. About to make a supersonic man out of you. She go below the belt. You better go for help. Shot about to make a supersonic man out of you. I wanna be her man. Now I'm a believer. She used both hands. Now I'm a believer. Yeah. Big gun, baby. I'ma pull it out and shooting my shot. I got a feeling I can bust it, baby. Trust me, baby, I do this a lot. She do that roll. Now I'ma double tap that booty like I did. She take that pole. All the way down that choking sign gon' make me ski. I'll ski. Yeah, now if you ever get to meet her, better keep a shot. About to make a supersonic man out of you. She go below the belt, you better go for help. Shot about to make a supersonic man out of you. I wanna be her man. Now I'm a believer. She used both hands. Now I'm a believer.
Unified welcomes you to the following presentation of the Midwest Esports Conference. Here at the MEC, we partner with schools all over the Midwest to create premier gaming experiences.
The most common angles that the operator plays. This is like second to only B long. Bright is likely having a leg shot, but they're too slow. Drury lands a perfect headshot.
Laying in the damage zone and them on out. Going into A4, look at Socket. Laying in the move.
Socket?
Laying in the damage. Going in revenge for their honey.
No way!
Socket Wabe! Get the quadra kill!
That was
So it kind of sounds fun, so I'll give it a chance. And then we end up playing in high school the next 2 years together. We've been playing ever since. So he kind of taught me the game. We've been playing on a team since then, and then now we're in college, so we can't play together anymore.
We do love all the players, even the ones we shit talk. We love you all. We love you all.
Body Pluto looking for the plank. Trickster waiting, maybe looking for the steal. Pluto has his engage. The scatter of the week comes through. Watch Levi though. Levi hasn't been touched just yet, but the damage is coming through. The melt line gets melted. Jinkwall on a killing spree, and all of Ottawa goes down.
Why? Those don't go in. It goes off the sidebar.
Starting to come out. The flash is popped. The rolling thunder is utilized to perfection. And now it's all on Thiessen, but Thiessen just keeps on going.
Welcome to the MEC. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on over to the Midwest Esports Conference. My name is Travesty. I'm joined here with Mecca, aka my boy Logan, who is coming back, returning onto the desk, ready to get into some MEC action. Logan, give me the insight. How did you prepare today for MEC?
Well, I took my unsponsored Field Notes notebook and wrote things in it, and that's what I did.
All day?
Big plus for like the last half hour. That's what I did. I used the internet webs and my notebook.
Impressive.
Which is better than we could have said 3 weeks ago.
Okay, you know what?
I broke Trav.
Fair. Okay, fair. But you know what? We're not here for self-deprecation. We're here to get into some MEC action. It was wild last night. We had some great matchups, but let's look at the standings because despite every single thing, Ohio Northern is still on top.
Ohio Northern's still on top, but the fight is quick after. So we've been told that these standings are tie broken. So the 2, 3, and 4 spots, that is Grandview, then Purdue Northwestern, then Ottawa. That is the correct order for those teams, right? So we have this really lopsided top half of the conference right now with 4 teams within 1 game of each other. And then the rest of the conference, who I believe we were told ahead of this, it is not possible for them to catch up to the top half of the conference right now.
No, because if you think about it, after this, there's only 1 more week. So there's not really a way for you to catch up to teams that are 5-0 and 4-1. It's just the fact of the matter. In reality, what you're doing right now is you are gearing towards playoffs. You are gearing towards what you want to ramp up for at this current moment in time. And to start things off, we do have a matchup between Drury and Briar Esports. 2 teams that I feel like have been probably the most interesting to watch inside of the league. If you go ahead and take a moment to look at the roster, you got Quick Slice, Kaiser, Orion, and Fat Cat over on Drury's side, and you got Otzi, Mike, Hammer, Zero, and Raymond over in Briar. And for me, I find both of these teams the most interesting. We actually had some of my co-hosts from MEC Pod. They were both like, Briar might be my favorite team to actually watch. Like, this is the team that you watch for good League of Legends. So
Briarcliff is fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mike and Cameron in the mid lane is a really, really fun duo to watch, right? They just kind of do weird stuff, and it's awesome. Mike has been basically the only person playing Gwen jungle. I think it's Mike and the Grandview jungler, and that's it. No one else is playing Gwen jungle, and they win on it basically every time. It's really, really good. But we see a lot of like interesting stuff come over from the Briar side, and then on Drury, Orion's been the story of the season. Beginning of the season, he was kind of getting gapped by a lot of other mids, but every week that we see Orion, he just kind of gets better and better, and it seems like he is coming into his own at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you take into perspective some of the information that we as casters know, we go in here, we do the research, we talk to the players, we figure out what's going on with them, what's happening, what's their tenure looking like in collegiate, because you're on a time limit, right? You're not playing forever inside a collegiate space. Some players find it a way to make it seem like that, but even with like new rules that are in place to make sure that you're only able to play for a certain time period, you can't really do that. So Drury, very young roster that has grown exponentially over the past couple weeks to months to seasons, right? You can go back at their most recent stuff, and these players have grown tremendously. So I look at Drury and I go, all right, roster, young, getting things going, building up that head of steam. They got win conditions. Sometimes they don't work out. Briar, however, this is the team that's like, we're going to be unique. We're going to get a little crazy. Yeah. We got an idea. Sometimes it doesn't pan out. But recently, we've been seeing more of that success, even at the MEC Clash LAN that happened recently, where it didn't affect MEC standings. Briar was on top of things and was the fourth team inside of that tournament.
Yeah, Briar outperformed what I think most people had expected going into the LAN. Going to draft right now, and I'm very excited to see picks that come through, because there's a lot of pocket picks across the board here of like things that would look really good. Don't be surprised if you see Camera lock into Diana.
Okay, well, let's see what exactly is locked in, right? Like, there's a couple of picks that I am interested in. I feel like Orion, the big one is the Hui. That's just something that I feel like you got to take and pay respect to. I think the Gwen is another pick that could possibly be contested inside the series. I think QuickSlice's Gwen is great. The top lane matchup of QuickSlice and Otzi is actually going to be probably the most exciting, because these are two players that want to carry from a side lane a lot of times. They're not really, they can play for the team if they so choose, but Otzi's Fiora is a big one. QuickSlice's Gwen is a big one that sticks in my head. Getting to see those two clash, even though Fiora, I believe, did recently get some nerfs, but they weren't anything too terribly insane. We've also seen them pop off on champions like Darius and whatnot if you try to opt into a weak side matchup.
Yeah, a lot of the a lot of the Oxy champions are just really fun carries, right? Jax, Fiora, that kind of stuff is really insanely good at it in the lane, and you generally don't see Mike up in the top lane. It doesn't. Oxy kind of gets this lead to start, and you don't need to worry about Oxy as the game goes on. And Mike is really closely paired with Camera in the mid lane, and you see the two of them just kind of work it through together to make sure that the mid lane gets through the match okay.
Yeah, and Camera has some of the most unique champions that have been locked in inside the Rift as well. We've talked about a lot of those. That TF currently being hovered as a ban locked in. Camera's been a big proponent of actually playing the AP variant, which has worked really well with them doing like the TF not turn strategy that we have seen be very popular for them. So good on Drury to make sure to get rid of some of those decisions. But Hui was left open. I wonder if this is a challenge in the mid lane. Oh!
This should be okay. Brand Jungle through. Now, Brand Jungle... that's a brand. It may not be Brand Jungle. It's a brand.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that it was a takeaway from Briar. I don't think Briar was expecting that. Camera is notorious as one of the best brands on server, and they just said, all right, yeah, we're going to leave this open. You're going to leave it open thinking we're going to pick Hui, and then you're going to get Brand. Nah.
Yeah, so Brand gets picked in mid lane for Briar. I believe Mike knows how to play it as well. But the fun thing... okay, so that's a Gwen jungle, almost certainly. I don't see Oxy really playing that, but we're getting spicy picks to start. That Brand could go into jungle, could go into support. If Orion is feeling ballsy enough, that could go into mid. But that would be pretty ballsy, playing Brand mid into the Brand mid guy. And that's a Smolder Karma instantly locked in.
All right. So we got the two casters in the bot lane, the two caster AD carries. You got that Ezreal, you got that Smolder. We're going to have one blowing snot rockets. You're going to have others shooting mystic shots. It's going to be a great time. But the option that was surprising to me is Bard was left open, and Fat Cat did not take it. So BCU, they say, all right, cool, bet you want to lock in Karma? We're just gonna go ahead and lock in the Bard for ourselves.
So I'd like to state that on my draft thing here, it literally for Briarcliff it just says Bard exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. Sorry for Drury, it says just Bard with like 5 exclamation marks because I just expect Fat Cat to pick Bard. Not that he's not good on anything else. He's excellent on a lot of supports. He's just really, really good at Bard.
It's permabanned against him a lot of times, so it's very surprising to actually see that, and I like the respect being shown because Brand is a champion who, yes, has been very popular in the jungle role. We've seen it in the mid lane for Cammer. It also, if you remember, it had it start down there into the bot lane, so Drury has done their infamous, we have a tri-flex going on, and this is a standard thing for Drury. They love picking 3 characters to start off their rotation. Where are they going to go? Maybe we don't even know. We're going to find out once we pick our last 2 champions, but it's a game of magical chairs here inside the draft.
Yeah, all 3 of these champions are flexible, so we'll see what goes through here. Diana Kennen band over for Drury. The Diana band is pretty expected at this point. Camera's been really good on it through the season. Nocturne and Jace over for Briarcliff, and that's a Ziggs locked in. So that could be a Ziggs mid.
More than likely, that's a Ziggs mid.
I think judging by the Ezreal, that it should be a Ziggs mid. But I've seen weirder stuff happen.
It should be because Ezreal Bard is actually a really good lane. So if I play Bard, Bard's my most played character in League of Legends. My preferred partner is Ezreal because I can leave him. Yeah, I can just leave him and he's self-sufficient. He can make ramen on the stove. It's cool. He's not going to burn the house down. It's great. That's a Braum lock-in.
Yeah, so I still don't... So this is a Brand jungle. It's a Karma mid. And then it'll be a Smolder bot lane with the Braum. I think that makes sense. I generally prefer Enchanter with Smolder, so that's... The Braum's a little interesting.
I wonder, I actually haven't tested this. Do you happen to know if Smolder E actually can proc Braum passive at all? I don't think it's coded as an auto, right? Like... I don't think it can count as it. I don't think the Q does either. So it's actually a very interesting one. It gives you a lot of. It's surprising because the only champion you're really like picking the Braum into, you want to kind of play that front to back. You want Braum to be in front of your carry. I mean, protect the Smolder can be a valid thing, and put on a big carry performance last week when they played against Ohio Northern in their game number 2 against them. So, you know what? I feel like this is Drury saying all eggs in the basket named
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of eggs in the basket, and it's for good reason. Yuno's been excellent this season. The Brand in the jungle, though, does provide a good amount of AP ahead of time. So it won't be just on the Smolder, but the Brand's gonna need a good chunk of time to just like get going. The Camille in the top lane is fun. We haven't seen Camille in a really long time. It hasn't been meta for a while, but I do like Camille. I do like seeing Camille because Camille just wants to split push. The rest of this comp is fun because they kind of all vaguely want to do the same thing, but it's just hit them from really far away unless your name's Camille.
Now I have a thing that I do want to bring up because you talked about the Camille, you talked about this. How the hell do you get on Zuru inside this composition, right? This Ezreal is so hard to actually get onto. This should be a great series. Yo, I'm excited for it. Yo, Twitch chat, who you excited for? Who you got? Where is Gamba? Where is it? Give me the poll. I want to hear from the people here. We're getting into game number 1 between Drury and Briarcliff as they're looking to go against each other. Whoever's able to pick up this dub will almost be undecisively taking on that middle of the pack role, making sure to have that stronger position going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a big position, right? If you're in 6th place, you have to face the 3rd seed when it comes to playoffs. If you're the 5th seed, you got to play the 4th seed. And there, while the top 4 is really close, there is a distinct difference between playing the 3rd seed and the 4th seed, especially if someone's season falls apart next week.
You're not lying. Is the thing. I really like Briarcliff's composition, though. I love this idea. They have some good flexibility. I like the Bard in this composition. The big thing that I'm interested in is the press the attack Gwen. That's not something I'm used to seeing, and I I feel like I look at that and I go, man, I feel like that should be like Conqueror or something. But
Yeah. Generally, it's a Conqueror move.
might have been
But I'm interested.
a misplay in Champ Select.
I'm interested. Count me in.
Okay, you're in.
I'm a Gwen enthusiast, so we'll see how this goes. If this goes well, I may need to be switching my Gwen runes up.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I actually don't think that the snip actually goes for the press the attack. I could be wrong on that. I'm not as knowledgeable about Gwen. I fear the champion more than I play it, so
yeah, but
that's kind of the
thing
rule.
is, when you use the Gwen E, you get a lot of attacks in really quickly, especially once we head towards late game, and so the PTA may work there. Snip plus E plus auto.
Maybe.
That'll
I do
give
want
you a good
to
chunk.
real quick. 10 seconds left on the poll. 43% to 57% in favor of Briar Cliff. It's a total amount of 1.6k to 2.1k. Nobody betting their entire house on this one. We see a lot of you guys do that here inside of the MEC. I appreciate the fact that you guys aren't betting the entire house. You guys have to sleep somewhere tonight, okay? But
I'm happy everyone is continuing to have their homes.
What a good matchup, though, that could possibly... I still have my question marks about the Braum. I have not played a single game of Smolder together with Braum, so I wonder if this is some secret tech from Fat Cat, because Fat Cat has been cooking this week.
Yeah, Fat Cat was definitely cooking a little this week. We'll talk about some of the weird not weird, but interesting Fat Cat picks that come up.
The Fat Cat
if
lore?
they do. Yeah, if they do. I did see a little cheeky Janna in there in the OPGGs when looking earlier, so interested to see if we get a little bit more enchanter stuff.
He's played
going.
it before in MEC.
I know. Yeah, and that's Fat Cat, the psychology major over on Drury.
Oh, well,
So
right now the psychology meta is, calling in for some shots, but good read from Mike. Snipping away. Brand is trying to stand behind Fat Cat, but that's not going to find success. Those scissors go right past the door. First blood achieved for Briar Cliff.
Mike getting the kill is probably the best person to get the kill on the team, right? Zero's going to walk away in a little bit. Zero's going to be left alone in this bot lane for a while once Raymond feels good enough with it, which realistically could be this point now. Camera's going to get solo XP anyway, so feeding Mike some of these kills early is really good. His team realistically has 3 really strong carries on it, right? Ziggs is really good right now. Ziggs can carry. Ezreal's really good right now. Ezreal can carry. And we've seen Gwen jungle carry this year in the MEC. We saw it a lot in the Spring Clash.
Yeah, in the hands of Mike, nonetheless. Mike has been very proficient on it, so in Mike you can trust, but it's going to be in their hands to pivot things around. Drury's composition, I do have my worries. I talked about it a little bit in Champ Select. Who is the carry? A little bit of an identity crisis. Who's the carry, and how do you get onto this Ezreal and even the Ziggs, right? Ziggs is partially immobile, but he's going to be able to stay a pretty good distance away. I do have my worries as we start to see these neutral objectives start to spawn, some of those fights start to happen, those skirmishes, what could possibly come about from those.
It does look like the Nar's getting a lot of good push in the top lane. We got a little fight here.
Yeah.
A little tussle.
Good invade, but the satchel charge is enough to push them away. Camera does have to flash over the wall. The setup is there, so they'll be able to get a good amount of damage, get the passive going. Camera is pushed out of lane. That sucks so bad. That is flash and teleport burn the moment you use it, and you're almost dead.
Yeah, there is no more teleport there for him to use. It's a little brutal if you're Camera, but
immediately roaming back down as well. I love the call. They immediately say, all right, we lost out on that trade in the mid lane. Quick Slice looking to smash Otzi. Otzi does have to flash. Did not want a tango. However, is going to be level 6. Will have a mini Gnar. Possible window for opportunity could be brought to him there.
yeah, the problem is Oxy just did not have mana for a minute.
Yeah.
Just used their second mana cookie. I guess actually their first mana cookie. But either way, just use a mana cookie to be able to, kind of be continually survivable in lane. The Camille was just on that low mana, you have to flash it. Gnar will kill you with just a Q plus a W when it's in Mega Gnar and you don't have anything you can do against it.
Shouts to Raymond for doing my favorite Shadow and Bard, which is putting down a magical journey and doing nothing with it. Just to scare him. Make him think about it, you know?
They're
Mind
terrified.
games. What's Raymond's major? Like, are they also psychology? Because they play like it.
I think so. We have a list. Yeah.
Read me that list.
So Raymond's an accounting major.
Oh, so he was accounting up for success inside of it. There it is.
Accounting up for success. There you go.
He's crunching the numbers. What do they
Oxy could be dead
mean?
here.
Oxy is getting ran down. No, you're fine. You're Camille. You got that little.
I thought the hook shot was used ahead of time.
Nope. I know my Spider-Man Camille has that weapon ready to go exactly when they need it. Scuttle Crab being taken, can't be contested. Raymond wants to get onto the map and just kind of join up with Mike. Mike's on the opposite side of the jungle, so a little bit unfortunate for them, but they will just take a moment to survey the jungle, take a moment, grab some of those meeps, head on back and say, hey, baby, you miss me?
Just on a little journey to grab all the chimes. Wants to make sure. Needs the meeps. It's very slow right now. This is odd. I expect a lot more fighting in Briarcliff games.
I mean, I don't think you need to. I think this is a welcome look if you are a Briarcliff fan. However, Mike is going to jump into it head first. Good invade. They stole away the blue buff, and they're going to take away Kaiser's life as well. True Shot Barrage came away from the wings. Mike is in a little bit too deep. Orion picks up the kill, and now it's time to gnar on out. Otzi drops in the Headstack ultimatum, but the only thing that's getting thrown down is their body.
Yeah, so the combo here that they're looking for just was not in the same place in the same time. It's the Hextech ultimatum coming down from Camille, and right on top of it, the giant bomb that Ziggs has as his ultimate. Right, you want to just layer one on top of the other, and it just kind of was all over the place there because Camber took a little bit to get to the fight itself. Oxy took a little bit to get to the fight itself. The bomb was used early. They did not have a huge amount once Oxy came in.
We actually do have a very interesting dynamic, which is anytime that the Bard wants to try and get him at a wall with the tether, the Smolder can actually just kind of fly over that wall. So it does lead into some very interesting scenarios for but I'm going to have to hold that thought. As you can see, Orion is got a little bit of a tango, a 2v2. Everybody talks about the bot lane when it comes down to pairs, but don't worry. Reinforcements are on the way for Briarcliff as Bard is roaming up there at the speed of sound, and that vision's suffocating down there in the bot side.
Ooh. It's a little brutal. Was in a little bit of a dangerous position there, and Zero tries to get the WQ on him. Dude, whiffs a little, but...
Or Kaiser. Kaiser's just like, I'm over here trying to do my thing. Looks like gets to throw out a rock just in time to be able to lay in a little bit of damage, but they go mini. There's not going to be any follow-up to it. You could even see Fat Cat was trying to jump in. But Kaiser is not having a great time inside of the matchup just because of the fact that we are seeing Mike constantly get aggressive. But Drury is perfectly happy right now. They're going to be able to go for grubs. Possible team fight scenario as we see. They're going to go ahead and make two members go golden from Drury. The hook shot goes in, hits onto Fat Cat. The bomb dropped, but didn't do as much damage as they were hoping. True Shot Barrage, though, drops Kaiser lower to death as well. The grubs, they're going to go and hop, skip back into their pit, and now it's just a fight, a tussle. The poke war has begun. They're going in for the Gnar ultimate. They're going to be able to find three members as they lay in the hurt, throw in some skyscrapers. Otzi deep in, support for support. But they're going to find the Camille to the back end, and here comes Mike. Camera with no mana is going to drop bombs, and they're going to lay in the hurt. But there's no groundwork besides that. Void Grub was taken by Mike in the exchange as well. Kaiser too low is in unfriendly territory. Mike inside the mist, but it does not matter. The boomerang mightier than the scissor. Camera now throwing out their auto attacks will find another kill. It's a 1v2 scenario, but don't worry, cavalry on the way. Camera is not able to stay alive long enough. Raymond cannot make it back into the fight. And all in all, Drury come out ahead in the kills.
We said that we felt really bad about Kaiser. He wasn't really able to do much in this game, and then he just commits arson against the entire enemy team. He
Bro.
sat in the fight, continuously landed brand abilities, made the entire rest of the team burn over on Briarcliff.
Dude, poor Camer is like, yo, if I had more mana, I swear
Yeah.
that fight was easy. But he was out of mana that entire fight. That's so heartbreaking. And now, bro, that is a 5-0 karma.
Yeah, Orion's doing real well in this karma. That would have been the point number 2 looking at that fight, is that Orion just kind of frontlined for Kaiser, and it worked really well. Quick Slice did manage to get that insane.
Good block from Fat Cat, by the way. Drops out the True Shot Barrage, something we were talking about. The Glacial Fissure was actually used by Fat Cat as well to dissuade Briarcliff from continuing the chase. When still here in the vicinity, they have vision on them. Kaiser is around the corner, around the bend, waiting to make their actions known. You got the Karma coming in from behind as well. They'll get the Honey Fruits. Fat Cat will get that nice and tasty treat. And Briarcliff, they cannot continue their actions. Drury, yet ahead. They're going to find themselves another objective if they do not contest it. This will be second dragon, but it will be the first one for Drury.
Drury's finding their feet. Took him a second to find the sea legs, but they're getting going now. So Quick Slice in that fight had one of the better Gnar ultimates I had ever seen. Right, jump over, grab 3, push 3 right back into your team, and that's what really started the fight to turn it towards Drury. As we see Yuno and Fat Cat in the bot lane, just trying to get a little bit more tower plating.
Trying to get that work in there, and you know what? Do not blame him. You got a minute until that Platon falls off, so get that money while you can. Mike says, you know what? Sure, I'll get the money while I can. Quick Slice looking like it's somebody perfect to be able to gank. The head stack ultimatum comes out, dodging out onto the Gnar ultimate, and Mike secures the kill on the Quick Slice.
So a little reversal of roles there. As Quick Slice was doing most of the work in that last fight, Quick Slice can't do anything in this fight. Did you see Camille go for the Triforce early? Most of the time this season, anyone that was going Triforce has been going like Hydra early, somewhere in the Ravenous or Titanic realm, depending on your character. I haven't seen much Triforce being built yet, so we'll see how the early Triforce jump works. It's actually on both Gnar and Camille, so a little interesting item tidbit there.
I like it. Triforce is much better than going Ravenous first. Ravenous is really good first if you're just going to split push dominate, but I like the Triforce. It gives you a lot more sparring power to be able to have inside the laning phase, and it makes it to where you'll be able to evenly just contest with each other. So both of them go in it. No surprise to me. Gnar loves that item, and Camille does as well, so makes a lot of sense. They want to be able to duel things out. They want to be big damage threats for their team because both of them need to be that for their squad if the time comes to shove. And now we're at another fight. This time it's Herald. This pit is where all the action has to happen.
And it doesn't even look like Briarcliff really want to engage upon this. They're going to try and just take this mid tower. They do successfully. They may walk up now to look at the Rift Herald, but it won't be a huge amount.
That's
If
a
they
lot
take
of
2 towers in the mid lane, this is a lot given up.
Now, there's a lot of damage you can put out because remember, Ziggs passive makes it to where he can take down these towers really quick. That's the second one. You have Ziggs passive plus Satchel Charge. You cannot let Ziggs free hit a tower. It's just not something you can do. And now the punishment as Quick Slice caught out. Remember the head stack ultimatum? Well, that is exactly what you're going to be put inside a beautiful ultimate from the Bard as they got the True Shot Barrage hitting on the 3 members onto the side. You see Drew free hitting inside the fight. Mike gets the double kill. Orion running for the hills. You know, not in a safe position either. Is going to go ahead and hit him with a quick achoo. And they're going to back off of the fight as minefields, bombs are going everywhere. Drury find themselves losing majorly inside that fight.
They find themselves losing majorly, but it could have been so much worse.
Could it have
But
been? You lost 2 towers and then lost like half your team.
Yeah, but you see how low Yuno and Orion there were for a minute?
I mean, sure, yeah. If they got a pentakill, yeah, I get you. It's worse, but that's so bad.
And that was a reasonable amount of worse, right? Like, that could have actually happened. But the towers is brutal. Both those towers going down is not great. Officially, my call, not great.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things. If you're not used to playing against it, it's the thing that you have to deal with. And now Quick Slice is like, dude, I am sick of this. This is what I play against people. I play Gwen and the people. This is what people have to deal with from me. Nice rock being thrown in. The Gnar ultimate is beautiful. Quick Slice, 1v2, make it easy for Drury on the other side of the map. They're going to go ahead and get vengeance. Taste, oh, so sweet. Camera is off the map as well. Drury said that sounded bad. Well, let me show you something that looks so good.
Whoa. Quick Slice with a 1v2 in the top lane. They just went way too far and weren't ready for the Gnar ultimate to just come through. And Quick Slice is going to get a tower off this, so that helps claw back some of the original tower pressure. Same in the bot lane. Those 2 towers they got in mid, well, you got too deep, but your top lane and your mid lane are looking a little rough for wear, and your bot lane's gone already.
Oh, you can check it here. Watch out. Is trapped in the midst of all of them, but everything gets whiffed. Rayman cannot find that decisive tether, that little burst of speed you can get. Dude, wait, Zero! Why are you going in like that? Kaiser will smack you across the face and incinerate everything you hope to achieve. Finishes off that last bit of a kill. Mike just came back onto Rift, back to the fountain with thee.
Just pushing. And now it's the Herald time. Can they get rid of this tower before the Herald? No. Okay, so they will have to use a Herald charge on it, but they'll basically use another one instantly on this middle tower, and everything that Briarcliff did well in that Rift Herald fight has been neutralized instantly.
It's not even just neutralized. Drury now have a massive lead for themselves at this current moment in time. They were even before that fight, before that exchange, before everything that possibly could go wrong for Briarcliff went wrong. You now have yourself at a point where you are at a major disadvantage in terms of the gold. It's already a 4K shift around between the two of them, right? That is not a small lead to get in the instance of a couple minutes, but Quick Slice, yet again, the 1v2 scenario, you do not have your tower this time around. You're going to go a little bit mini, but they're still looking to fight it out. Quick Slice, absolutely slicing through that HP bar. They're looking to finally finish off Raymond as well. They just need another little bit of that Triforce. They're in another 1v2 scenario. The satchel charge to get into range. Can't get the fruit. Shutdown goes over to Camera.
Look at how much resources they had to give to go kill Quick Slice. The Hextech ultimatum has to go through. Raymond has to be top lane. Camera has to be top lane. And meanwhile, the rest of Drury is just pushing mid out. They're making sure that they now have some more pressure on the rest of the map to make sure that Quick Slice, while he does die, he doesn't die in vain. He doesn't die without anyone getting anything else.
This is what you want your top laner to look like. I'm just saying it right now. You want your top laner to grab resources just like this. But on the opposite side of things, you might see a little bit of friction inside this composition. Kaiser goes down, gets dropped off of the map. True Shot Barrage comes in, lays in a wee bit of hurt, but it's not too much since Ezreal is not at the item spot they would want to do to be able to do that kind of damage. But Kaiser caught out yet again. They haven't been able to find a moment to catch online, to catch fire inside this match.
See right now, they're trying to grab this mid turret, and they may actually succeed at it.
Headset Automaton's not up yet.
Depends what Oxy wants to do here.
I mean, it doesn't have... Headset Automaton's almost up. It's about to be up, right? So you do have the option. I think the big thing, and I talked about how do you get onto the Ezreal and how do you get onto the Ziggs, right? How do you want to engage a fight if you're Briarcliff, right? It's obviously got to be a flank on the Camille, but that's only going to be able to tag one person. Ideally, I think you're actually looking at Raymond to be the playmaker on this Bard to start things off, and it's not the easiest one, just because your ult can be a little awkward, and just the slightest misuse of it can be disasterific. But that tether that you can also apply could be good, but you can only tether 2 people. So it's a little bit of a situation I feel like Briarcliff is feeling where they really want to hit that go button.
And they just don't have one. Like it's not their go buttons are hard to hit. It's either hard to hit or you're sacrificing someone to hit a go button. Whereas over on the Drury side, they're more than happy for Briarcliff to hit the go button. They don't have a great go button on themselves. I mean, I guess Braum to a degree is a decent go button, but the second you hit a go button on them, you've got a Gnar coming over the top and throwing them back into the rest of your team, and plenty of damage there. Yuno has been really, really good this game. even though we haven't spoken his name a lot, he hasn't been there in every single fight. He's been quietly farming and quietly doing really well. And we watched Orion get 4 kills in the middle of the map, just off a random team fight. So the 2 carriers over on Drury are making sure that they're ready to deal damage the second Quick Slice delivers someone to them.
Thing that I find very interesting is take a quick moment to look at the build choice that we see from Yuno. We've actually seen a lot of Spirosurgeon builders on this on Smolder inside of the MEC. We actually have that Essence Weaver Navori Quick Blades build that's coming out. It's not one that it's a preference kind of thing, I feel like, at this rate, because I feel like I see so many people have conversations in regards to what's the best one. So very interesting to see, also going for that build, not wanting to go for that caster build, but more so wanting to go into that more AA build.
Well, we've hit patch 14.4, and in 14.4, Smolder got nerfed on the AP a little bit, which is why you also don't see Smolder take the Doran's ring first, which was a huge thing last patch when the W had a lot more pushing power. You see Mike is auto-attacking really quickly. That's a Nashor's Tooth completed, and a Lichbane as well means he's going to hit really, really hard the second you get into a team fight. So while Briarcliff may be back a little bit, they're back about 3,000 gold. Don't count them out when it comes to a team fight, because they do have carries that are ready to go.
Quick got out of position. It's dropped down to under half HP, but they gnar out just in time. The Headstack ultimatum is not to their benefit. Mom comes in and looks to slay some fools, and Raymond taking a magical journey, but won't be taking a journey to the graveyard anytime soon. But here comes Yuno flying over the wall. This kid is going to go far.
Just flies over the wall to get a quick assassination and walks all right away. No one else on the team of Briarcliff could do anything about just waltzing over, taking one auto attack, and waltzing right back.
Beautiful. Beautiful to see from Drury. And they're picking up these team fights. That was a fight that Briarcliff looked to take. It looked convincing, but they couldn't burst down Quick Slice before he went nega. And now that's been a theme in the past couple fights. They have jumped on the Quick Slice. Quick Slice, uh-oh, I'm out of position. Oopsie, call an ambulance. And then they turn around and say, not for me, though. Quick Slice has been the Trojan horse. They keep thinking like it's a gift, like there's some sort of bounty they're about to claim, like they're about to get that 300G. But every single time, Quick Slice is like, no, the rest of my team's coming. They got their mom coming along. Like, yo, you guys are not ready for us.
Yeah, it's not fair for Briarcliff when there's 6 champions over on the Drury side. I mean, like, if Smolder can call his mom in, why can't Ezreal or someone else over on the Briarcliff side? Just isn't fair on pure number advantage.
Because Ezreal's parents are the victim of a tragic backstory.
Okay, well, maybe Ezreal wasn't the best choice.
Yeah,
Camille's outlived her parents.
Well, right now, they might not be
it.
making a good choice with Mike coming in onto the side. They got teleport. There's a double TP
Here's
coming
Quick
in from the
Slice.
mid lane, and Mom called into the fray. Mike has to go golden, but you're surrounded by buddy. That is your friend. Goes on a rampage. The jungler slain in front of the Baron. It's time to go ahead and slay the big purple worm. As Quick Slice is looking to just keep them all off on the side. Headstack ultimatum still available. But they're just going to keep pushing. They're going to try and get whatever advantage they can get. This is going to be Baron going over to Drury.
Not only Baron going over to Drury, but they're going to be able to push back this wave that Briarcliff is pushing into mid, and they'll probably be able to take some of their own. It may cost them a mid-tier 3, but Cameron's actually walked away. This won't cost them anything.
They have to pay respect. They could have, if they had the passive up, they could have just auto-satcheled, but they paid respect. Groundwork was laid. If a fight goes bad for Drury, with a Ziggs alive and well, he can walk up and two-shot that. So,
Yeah, you kind of have to be aware. Quick Slice has been really good this game with his Gnar bar. So the gimmick thing with Gnar is that he gets angry and he turns into Mega Gnar. he's been really good about managing that to make sure that it's always there when he needs it. He's not caught without it.
Big Slice is looking to possibly smash, but they're gonna get cut down to size. But here comes Kaiser. Kaiser says, "You know what? It's my time. Your time is up." Doesn't get the kill though. Says, "Hey, I need to be unstoppable. I am the superstar carry." 5-0-1 on the Smolder on the day. What a magnificent performance.
Quick Slice doesn't last as long there.
Yeah, Mom
that's
got
a
called
lot of
in.
damage.
There's a lot of abilities used though too, right? Like that was
There's a
Mom.
lot of abilities used.
They still have the Glacial Fissure, but that is the only ultimate ability that is still available for Drury. So maybe Briar could possibly look to do something. They got to figure out some way, as the gold lead is just increasing. With Baron, it's only going to get even deeper, and you do not want to find yourself in that deep of debt.
The thing with the Smolder ultimate is that it's halfway up already. It's on a pretty low cooldown at this point, especially with Quick Blades, making sure that you're getting the rest of your abilities up, so you don't feel as
They
upset
got a
about it.
TP coming around from the bat. Is in a dangerous predicament as Otzi's going to be able to find their target. It's going to flash over the wall and
Great
get away.
flash.
But a beautiful bit of disengage coming in. But Kaiser's left as tribute. Otzi goes down. Heartbreak in the heart, in that chest of Otzi. 1-for-1 trade. They were so close yet so far from finding Yuna.
And this is now when Briarcliff knows what's going on. Briarcliff knows that this Smolder, doesn't have flash anymore. The only thing that has movement ability wise is that E that can jump over walls, but if you can lock him down early, there's no way that he can get out of it. So Briarcliff should be looking in the next minute and a half, 2 minutes to try and make sure that they can prioritize taking down once he has no flash. And this dragon coming up in 35 seconds is going to be the perfect opportunity.
My IP. There's two 700G bounties that are out there on the Karma and the Smolder. There has to be an executive order onto him. Drew, you're not supposed to have the executive order on you. Quick Slice immediately jumping in. A little bit careless inside the positioning there. Mike, though, on the wraparound, I don't think this is wise. Everybody's caught out of position. Briarcliff completely disorganized, disoriented, and Drury is the ones that will knock them out, hit them with that KO punch.
So here's the problem, right? Briarcliff, we needed to fight for this dragon. This dragon means Ocean's Soul, which means not only do they get a huge amount of gold influx in terms of stats, but Ocean Soul means that Quick Slice may be a little unkillable.
Yeah, this is a hard situation now. Though, caught out of position, calls in Mom, and Mom brought the snatch part in the pizza rolls. Gets to stay A-OK. 2 members get dropped as a result. I was scared, but you know what? Knows Mom got him.
Drury right now is putting a clinic on making sure your early game does not affect your late game. We remember correctly, Drury did not have the most majestic early game known to humankind. It was fine. It was okay. But making sure that they play to their composition strengths here, and make sure that when they get to late game, when that Smolder gets to 225 stacks and starts to get the execute, when the Karma is really ready to make sure to support Smolder in team fight, and when Gnar can just kind of exist, they were ready for that.
Size over here onto the side, just can split away as much as they want. Baron spawns in a minute and a half here. Those bounties are looking juicy, but at this moment in time, they gotta stop thinking about the bounties. They gotta figure out a way to survive and turn things into their favor. Camille cannot tango with anybody in the side lanes anymore at this point in time. The Gwen cannot find a flank that is safe for them to tear apart the team. And this Smolder Karma, I had questions on what the survivability will be. Who knew having a massive shield and the ability to fly over terrain could be so handy?
The bomb just jumped over Fat Cat's head. I need the math on how tall that bomb jump is, because Brom's got to be like 6'4".
I feel like I know this information just because I've watched like friend of mine, Kangas, who did the Braum cosplay. I'm pretty sure there was something about that inside the information. I love the idea, by the way, that Camille was running away from a snot rocket from a baby dragon. That is something that I will never get tired of imagining. That
Nope.
is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, Camille, this like 300-year-old half robot, half woman running away from a little dragon.
Running away from the little dragon, just like, whoa! Raymond, nice tether. Nobody's there to be able to follow up, but the rest of the team from Drury will be more than happy to be able to do that. It's True Shot Barrage gone down. Mike has to run away. If you get stunned, if you get tagged and bagged at this moment in time, it is lights out for your team. The burn, the execute, is legendary. Drew barely able to hold on, but it will be just a healing pulse that goes across the rift. This is just absolutely in their favor. Otzi goes in now. The Hex Tech ultimatum. Divided. Briarcliff, you will fall as they go in one by one. File one by one. They fall one by one. And together, as a team, they are losing out on their entire base.
There's one tower down already. There's an inhib down already. Quick Slices over in the bot lane, getting the second inhibitor. It's brutal right now if you're on the Briarcliff side. There is next to nothing you can do to defend this base. Quick Slice is about to go mega, and it would be a really bad time for Cameron and Raymond to try and fight.
Tripper inhibitor as well. Even if you get past this fight, it's such a surmountable wall, but Mike is caught out of position, tries to go into melee, but that's exactly where Drury wants you. They pounce upon Gwen, and now Quick Slice looking to finish things off, throwing out those boomerang toss, laying in that damage onto Raymond, chasing him back into the fountain. The bomb gets dropped, and Brand goes down, but it doesn't matter when hot fire being spit out by and they're just continuing to do this dance around the fountain. It's looking like a Howl and Abyss game. They're just saying, we'll let the minions finish off the nets. We're going to let them do the job for us as they are just continuing to hit away on the competition. Otzi nets one to go down, goes golden. We'll stay up for a little bit longer, but just delay the inevitable. Another pop comes about, and Drury, 29 kills, 33 minutes into the game. They close things out in convincing fashion.
They made sure that every box was checked by the end of that game. There was nothing that you could do anymore if you were Briarcliff to try and make that game exist for you. Well, the second that Smolder started getting really fed, the second that we had that fight outside of Rift Herald, where Karma gets 4 kills in that fight, and Kaiser just kind of comes alive, makes sure to... The second that fight happened, the game kind of just fell over.
Yeah, it was like everything just went bad. I feel like there was like a moment in time where we were like, wow, Briarcliff got a good handle on things. And then it was like they were just caught out of position a couple times. I really like the decision making they had with the Ziggs to just barrel down mid, get 2 towers in quick succession, get a fantastic fight. They got 3 members inside the fight that ensued afterwards, right? Like that was a huge gold swing, put things at an even state. And it was just like, okay, they win team fights. They win all these different fights. Okay, Briarcliff is favored, but
yeah,
Drury's resiliency is not to be messed with.
Yeah, and I know that the headlines after that, right, are Orion in the mid lane and in the bot lane. But we got to show love to Quick Slice in the top lane, because most of those fights don't happen without Quick Slice being incredibly good on the Gnar and making sure that every single fight that the Gnar was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. You could say the game turned around when that 1v2 play went south in the top lane, and ever since then, it felt like it was just Drury favored. So we're going to take a little bit of time to let it all digest for ourselves before we go over to our short break. So I just want to remind everybody, if you want to see the MEC players live and experience the MEC for yourself, you should come watch the MEC Spring Championship at the Unified Gaming Fan Fest in Illinois College on April 6th and 7th. Use the command !Spring Championship in chat and follow the link to get your tickets to join us there. It's a great amount of fun. All the players enjoy it. Last year we had so many people that came out. I remember a lot of people had positive things to say about the venue as well. It's just going to be a great time, and I hope I get to see y'all there and enjoy all that fun stuff with us. But that being said, take that short break. When we come back, we'll be going into the action for game number 2 between Drury and Briarcliff. Do not touch that browser.
position?
I'm the jungler.
Jungler? Awesome. Nice to meet you. I appreciate it. First question I have. Versus online competition, what gets you so excited about LANs, and what's the best part in your opinion?
Honestly, I think the kind of being able to hear teams talking shit across the board, it gets me a little pumped up because I'm like, wait a minute, you're saying this to my face? And it's also more of a human element, when you're sitting in your lab by yourself with your team, a little scattered.
Yep.
It feels a little less serious almost.
Yep.
And when you're in person, when you're seeing each other, when you have everyone set up in a kind of coordinated way next to each other, it feels more like a real competition instead of a game of solo queue.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Second question then. We're gonna put you on the dev team. All right, at Riot Games, and your first job is to bring in a totally new IP or a real life person, and they create a new champion for League of Legends. Could be a character from another game, could be a person, could be anything. What are you doing day one?
That's a hard choice.
I know.
I feel like League doesn't have enough kind of how do I put this? The creativity in characters is sometimes a little stifled in my mind.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are very archetypal.
Yep.
They fit into a very specific. Like this is a ninja. This
Yep.
is a.
Yeah.
I feel like branching out to some I played a little Guilty Gear Strive the other day, and there's this one character who's just almost looks like a scarecrow, but he's got a bag on his head, and he's got these really weird movements. I think something just bizarre that doesn't really fit in the world of League. Not silly, but out there.
Just
an
totally
abstract
amorphous.
thing would be really cool to me. Because I feel like it wouldn't fit any of the archetypes that exist in the game.
Yeah, anything inspirationally that comes to mind. I mean, Guilty Gear would be.
Guilty Gear was the one thing I was thinking of right now, but some of the Eldritch themes of stuff I would think would be really cool. We have a little of that, but not a ton.
We had somebody yesterday say the Lich King.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that would be bad.
Something
like what's this Lovecraftian would be cool because we do have skins like that.
Yeah, true.
But we don't really have many characters outside of maybe Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, possesses that. Yeah,
it would be cool to me. I'm a big fan of horror or not horror necessarily, but big astral type stuff. So I think that would be cool to have in the game.
The MMO comes out, you're what is it? Why am I blanking? Callista, Hecarim, Thresh.
Oh yeah, the Shadow Isles.
Shadow Isles. Yeah, I'm like Shadow Realm.
Yeah,
I'm
close enough.
It's
close enough.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna be there manning Shadow Isles champs.
I'm a Viego.
Yeah. See,
I love Viego.
There you go.
So,
Easy.
Exactly.
Easy. All right, last question. Of any of your teammates, who is most likely to go viral, and for better or for worse, why?
Well, I have two answers on that one.
Okay, all right, yeah.
It could be me.
Okay.
Because
fair.
I'm loud and talkative.
Oh,
I say whatever the hell comes to my mind. Which,
no way.
We may have noticed in the 2 interviews I've had so far. But other than that, I think it would probably be Seth, Fat Cat, just because he's super involved in the community. He knows everybody in esports. He's a very positive person.
Just well connected.
I just think he would be the type of person to be on a leadership for something relating to esports. He's just a well-rounded human. I love it.
Yeah, what a wholesome answer.
So I think that's what I'd say.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you coming. Good luck in the games.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to the MEC. We're ready to get into the nitty gritty of it all. My name's Travis C. I'm joined here with Mecca. Logan, game number 1, Briar Cliff, they looked like they had a good hold on things, and then all of a sudden, Drury turned it around.
Yeah, all of a sudden they just did not have the same kind of hold on everything. The Smolder Karma brand kind of mid-ball. We were a little questioning it going into that, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Briar Cliff ban some of that next one.
Yeah,
it was a little powerful.
I feel like it was an execution thing, right? It does become a question of all right, the Gnar got to come out on top. You guys had to spend a lot of resources just to get the Gnar to go down. I think Quick Slice's resilience was great inside of that. I mean, if you honestly want my opinion in regards to it, I don't think the composition was the problem, because the question marks I had, I still feel like were valid. It's just Briar Cliff, they found themselves in situations where they went for, I think, 3 bat-to-bat picks on the Quick Slice, and Quick Slice survived, went mega, and then gnarred out, and it's just once you do that, This is a team that you need to knock down members instantly, or else you get those shields that come in from the karma, right? You've got so many things to kind of give yourself a little bit of that fake HP bar.
I actually don't think that the Gnar is one of those champions that should be banned.
Oh no.
Like I in my head, it's right. You're talking Smolder, you're talking Karma, but I think the Gnar is just. I think you're right. It's absolutely an execution thing, right? The way that we talked about this game really getting turned on his head is the second we saw the 1v2 where they really pushed Gnar under the tower, and Gnar just said, "Wait, no, call an ambulance, but not for me," and chucked the Camille and the Gwen under tower and got that double kill, right? So it's the big bit of like where this started, and that's a total execution thing. Like, yes, Gnar is the champion that can do the flick back, but also, why are you running that close to the tower once we hit there? So it's kind of back and forth there on specifically on the Gnar, but I think right now the way that Drury wanted to play that game was they wanted to go late regardless of what happened early, right? And Drury has been a really good late game team all season. I think starting to take some of those late game threats away, like the Smolder, may be a little bit more beneficial to Drury. Against Drury, sorry.
I'm not entirely sure. I think it's also just like in terms of the game plan that you had, right? Smolder sat bot lane alone for like 20 minutes against an Ezreal who's also sitting alone. Neither one of them have kill threat, so it turns into a game of like who hits your item spikes first and is more powerful at those. So I don't know. I look at the gameplay and I'm like, all right, there's a couple pieces I want to change, but I think for me it's like, who's initiating the fight is probably the big one I would want to change, or how do you start up a fight? If you're going to let a Smolder go through, I need a go button from your team to be able to push the fact that they're going to be, at a disadvantage.
Realistically, both teams needed a better go button. It just happened to be that the Drury go button was kind of...
It was a reverse Uno card.
Yeah, it was a reverse Uno card.
Because every time Briarcliff went in, they were like, all right, yeah, sure, bet. All right, well, Drury's just stronger than us. I don't know, guys. GG. Like, I mean, what do you have to say, right? The Gnar just got to have multiple ultimates. I think BCU, they're a team that can definitely come back out of this scenario. I think, like I said, I thought that they were in control. I think they had some really good decisive calls inside that game. I want to see that again here inside of game number 2, because if they can provide that in game number 2 and they shut down Drury in a more efficient manner and they don't let themselves get kind of flundered, because there was a lot of times where they just started, I'm going to be over here and I'm going to be over here and I'm going to be over here and I'm going to be over here, and we're going to get caught out in random places, or one person gets caught out, let's all file in, guys, we all have to go down together. Like, I do think that's a condition that we have to look at. As your request has already been answered. Smolder has been banned by BCU.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the Gragas at all, but there's a lot of Gragas players on Drury between Kaiser and Quick Slice, and that's a pretty meaningful ban up front to make sure that they can't play kind of a comfort champ. That AP Twisted Fate, or in the hands of Orion, it would be an AP Twisted Fate getting banned as well, over towards the Drury side. Varus Maokai.
I mean, the only time we've seen Twisted Fate get pulled out has been from Quick Slice, so they're showing some respect towards Quick Slice, because Quick Slice is the only one from Drury that's played it. He's only played that AD variant up in the top lane, like, is this your card? Ha! Is this your card? Ha! Just continuously hitting them with the heart of the cards.
Throwing the whole deck at him. Brand gets banned, so they don't want to play Brand themselves this game. Kaiser doesn't want to run it back. Oxy is already locked in the Udyr. That is certainly a top lane Udyr. We haven't seen a lot of him recently. I hope he's back. But it means that it's a rock in the top lane for Oxy. It could be a Mike Udyr.
I was about to say, Mike has played Udyr. I mean, I'm just saying. I look at Oxy and I'm like, you're not really much of an Udyr player, I feel like. I look at Mike and I go, Mike likes the Udyr. Okay. On the other side of things, somebody out there is screaming at the moment because Karma just got there again.
It's Shibby. Shibby's streaming. Mac has put yet another mark on his whiteboard.
It doesn't stop.
No, Gnar picked up again. So Drury looked to be running it back, kind of ish. They're gonna run into trouble on that bot lane and the jungle, but until that point, they seem to be very content with what they had last game, and Hammer seems content to chuck the Ziggs into it again. Now, I would like to state again here, the Ziggs could be a flex into the bot lane. I mean, we don't have an AD carry picked. There's no support picked. If they want to itemize into a Bard again, Ziggs works as an AP version of Ezreal.
Hey, yeah, you can leave it alone.
Yeah.
Really, the big thing with Ziggs is you want to get him up to a tower, so that way you can start hitting things and knocking them down, though. So it's something that you have to keep your eyes peeled for. I like this solution, though. Grab the Wukong for yourself. So it is going to be Otzi on the Udyr, as you were asking for, and that means we'll have this jungle Wukong to hit onto the Rift. While on the opposite side, Kaiser's going to be piloting probably the most popular champion inside the MEC, the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, the Xin Zhao is really stable, but it also doesn't let Briar know what they're doing with either of these lanes. This Karma remains a 2-lane flex.
Yeah.
Right? It can go mid, it can still go support. So they're going to play this out, and they're going to use their last pick, counter pick, to determine where this Karma gets sent. Be prepared to see an AD pick for on this first pick.
Yeah, here's the thing. They could ban another champion away from Yuno as well here. They banned away the Kai'Sa. I actually wonder, Yuno had a very big performance on the Twitch, actually. So I wonder if there might be a little bit of credit thrown to Yuno's way on that character as well. And Yuno has been a devastating threat on these team fight AD carries. So I think it's a valid one if you want to go for it. If they go for Ezreal, this makes a lot of sense too, because that's probably your prime partner to put together with the Karma, and they do lock in that ban.
So that's 2 more ADs banned. There's 4 in the game total banned out. We'll see what Yuno wants to pick here. Zeri would be a relatively meta-ish pick. I'm interested to see the build here, because there's a couple of Zeri builds floating around, and we'll talk about them when we get towards the game, when we see which one is Yuno's going towards.
Yuno hasn't had a great time on the Zeri, though. I don't believe they've been able to pick up a game win on the Zeri. They may have gotten one over at like the MEC Clash, but they've tried to pick it multiple times, and it hasn't been able to work. And it's not really been a fault of Yuno. It's just been team fighting together with it. And check out what the option locked in on the bot side of BCU. It's Seraphine. It's Senna. That's hard if you're Zeri.
So our producer just said in my ear about my hatred for this lane. I actually love this lane, and this lane is a great pick here. The Seraphine lane means that they're just going to get a lot of push, and they're going to be able to death ball. It's the best composition, minus the Ziggs. You just get to death ball for a while. So that's going to be a mid lane Karma again for Orion. Fat Cat's Bard went all the way to red 5.
They take it. They take those. I like the idea of it. It doesn't do too much inside the laning phase, but I like the idea of the ultimate kind of interrupting the concert that Briar is looking to put in, right? So I'm here for it. You saw siege potential as well with the Ziggs. I think BCU did check off a lot of things with this composition for them to say, all right, you know what? We're going to go with something that's pretty stable, good team fighting, good coordination. Briar is no slouch at team fighting either, so we're in for a good one. And yet again from Drury, bro, what's wrong? Or Yuno is like having to flex every single weekend right now, it feels like, because they are like, yo, Yuno, you good? Go ahead, pop off, king.
It feels like to me that this Drury comp is kind of the same as the last comp. They just flipped the jungle and the support lane. Right, they moved their enchanter from the jungle. They moved that brand, and they moved it into a bard in the bot lane. And their engage is now on the Xin Zhao in the jungle. It feels like Drury wants to play this game exactly out the same way that they played the last game out.
I mean, yeah, they want the Xin Zhao to go in, start things off. You do have the Karma to go along. Both these compositions have a big difference, and I love talking about this because it is something that doesn't get talked about enough. And that is the range disadvantage that could possibly come into play. For Drury, Zeri is a short range AD carry. They're very mobile. You have to get in on a Senna Seraphine, a Minefield from Ziggs, a Cyclone from Wukong, and an Udyr looking to Bear Slap. You gotta be very precautious over that. As by the way, I did want to bring it up. The poll is open. You guys can vote. Game number 2. Who's going to be able to pick up this dub? Drury on the red side, or is it going to be Briar on the blue side? Let us know.
I think the first big thing for us to look at here is Zeri picking up the lethal tempo. It's been nerfed a little early game, but it's better late game. Not as good on melees, which is really a question of why Kaiser has taken it on the Xin Zhao.
Very interesting. Intriguing, I would say. I like it just because I just like to go ham, you know?
That's a good reason.
I like to just go in. I also like playing solo lane Shinzo, so I'm a little bit of a demon.
We saw solo lane Xin Zhao for like one event. We only saw it at Clash.
Yeah, it was Campbell's.
We haven't seen it since.
They're not in the MEC, so we only get to see it that one time. But
no invades, nothing super interesting happening early. Okay, this is a little interesting.
I mean,
there's a grass proc here. There's a grass proc about to go down there.
I still love the fact that Udyr has technically 5 skins on every single skin they give him, just because, and one of them is just him as a homeless man. I love that.
He's got the homeless man skin. You only see it once in the game.
You only see it one time. They should make that into a thing. Once you get fully unlocked, you can, at level 18, you can hit level 19. There's no changes. You just get to choose if you want to be regular Udyr again.
You can just be the homeless Udyr.
Yeah.
There's 2 lane bullies up in top lane. It's going to be very difficult and very bloody in this lane, I think. Udyr wants to push. He wants to be able to push using the R. He's going to use the Awakened W, that turtle stance, to make sure that he is surviving whatever Gnar is doing.
Yep.
See, instantly goes into the turtle stance after Phoenix. He's gonna stay there. Most of the game is Awakened turtle stance. That and his R is the bread and butter in the lane.
Pretty good.
Probably
Looks though, getting up into the face. Lays in a good amount of hurt. Goes mini though. Is going to regret the decision. Takes in a good amount of hurt as a repercussion. And I think big lanes to keep our eyes on to, big players keep our eyes on to. It's going to be Kaiser. It's going to be Mike. I believe both of these players are very, very solid, of course, inside their roles, but they're also on champions to be that initiation, to start things off in these lanes. Both of these are very, very good at being able to go into these gank scenarios. So I really like both of these players coming in. Both also very young players, right? Kaiser only being a junior inside of the team, while if you look over at Mike, who I believe, trying to pick up my sources, is a freshman. Which, by the way, Briar Cliff, we always talk about like Drury being like one of the youngest teams. This is actually probably the youngest slot of players that we could have, because Briar Cliff has 3 freshmen on their roster, if I remember correctly.
So many freshmen, man.
It's impressive if you think about it.
When I was coaching,
hold on. We're gonna have to wait to hear about your coaching story here. Mike got punished, but Kaiser as well. Look at that, forcing the flash out. Kaiser showing a lot of respect there to the Senna.
A lot of respect to the Senna, because Senna can kill you really quickly, even this early in the game. It can be really hard to just kind of play against the Senna when you're Xin Zhao. You don't have the ultimate. You can't prevent anything from outside your little circle. It can be really difficult to play. So, flash used early. Nice W hit there from the Senna as well. Oxy is going to continue to try and bully Quick Slice. This isn't the typical Oxy bruiser that we'd think about, right? In terms of lane bullies, we normally think about Jax, Fiora, these skill matchups. I'm an Udyr player. Udyr is an unskilled matchup, but still a lane bully.
Yeah, I don't know. It's into a range matchup with the Gnar, right? Like, Gnar has been what we've seen a lot of players go to traditionally. If they're like, all right, I'm getting to Udyr top, I'll take my range advantage. I will keep things peeled back. I'll be safe. I'll be fine. And then when team fights come around, I have bigger impact if I'm able to get those big Gnar ultimate moments. As long as the Gnar doesn't ever go down in CS, they should be in a very, very good situation. Check out Otzi trying to have some very clean pathing. They're going to spot out wards. They laid out some wards. Kaiser knows that Otzi got that clear. going in. And this is also the other danger of an Udyr. And this is what I think is so great about him, is he just kind of runs into the jungle and does his thing. And you're just like, man, why? There's vision everywhere. He's cleared out my jungle. What's going on?
We haven't seen the proxy yet. That's what I'm really waiting for here, is when Udyr starts proxying your wave. It's a great time to be an Udyr player.
I agree with that. Anytime you can proxy, it's always good because you can just like deal a mental blow as well to the enemy.
Yeah.
There's nothing more infuriating as a top laner. I would rather have somebody like camp me 1v2 the entire game.
Yep. No, proxying is brutal.
But if you proxy me, I'm like pinging my jungler, like get up here. He's taking my waves. Like it's just aggravating.
That's why playing against Singe is just so mentally brutal.
Yeah,
he's just constantly proxying.
Like, bro,
Ryan seems to be having exactly as good of a time as he had in the lane last time, which is to say, fairly okay. It's the same lane as last game. It's not like he has to rethink about anything.
No, I mean, you can kind of just chill. You can see across the rift, 6.5 minutes in, both these teams are just farming up. But the advantage in this farming up battle has gone over to the opposition, right? We have seen them actually have a decent little bit of a lead inside that mid matchup. The Wukong is actually clearing their jungle camps a little bit faster than the Jin Zhao is able to. The Seraphine's a bit down in CS, which is a little worrying since you do outrange, but it also could just be a case of not being possibly the most comfortable on said Seraphine. Nice tether from Orion, nice satchel charge as a response.
Yeah, so when I've been seeing the Seraphine Senna bot lanes, I actually see the support go the Seraphine, even though the support's taking the CS. So that way, later in the game, you have your team fighting AD carry on the Senna. But Briarcliff have opted to do the opposite. Which I don't mind either.
Slapping him up. Wait a second. We go back up, and Otzi looking for the 1v1 quick slice. A battle that is left on the edges. We keep going back to the noodle fight thinking something's going to happen, but nobody ever falls. But now that the junglers are about to get involved, first person that's going to be able to get in there is going to be Kaiser. Kaiser jumps in, but that shield is so massive that he's sustaining. And here comes Wukong with the Cyclone. They are going to be able to secure a kill. It's first blood off the counter game from Mike. They're not done just yet. Quick slice. Living on a prayer.
Oxy, if there was no jungler intervention there, you see Oxy actually double R and make sure that he kind of just uses the Awakened Phoenix stance to get through. But the second the jungler comes up, they turn right onto Kaiser and make sure that while Jin Zhao may be going in, he's not going out.
Man, tragic scenario for Kaiser. They are going to fall flat on that one. Good stuff from Mike, though. Good. This is one of those junglers who has some very good awareness. We've seen him on some very aggressive junglers. Now that the match has gone on to that point, this is what I was kind of looking at when I was looking at the map state earlier on. Level 6 has hit for the jungler, and that actually benefits Briarcliff just that much more because now we have those big team fighting ultimates that are available, and Briarcliff could start looking at some of those rotations and be the bane of Drury's existence.
We see a lot of Udyr players kind of autopilot and go Koenig Ruckern first. And I'm really happy we see Oxy using his brain here to make sure that he's going frozen hard.
Fat Cat, magical journey comes through. It's going to be just enough to be able to finish off Oxy. It takes him forever to be able to peel through those layers, but they finally take down Oxy. Revenge tasting sweet. Fat Cat just had to make a magical journey up to the top lane.
Udyr can 1v3. He cannot 1v3 at 9.5 minutes with no items.
Yeah. Takes a little bit. You know.
Takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, need those items. Turns out, items are important. Who knew?
Especially the item that Oxy is building. This Frozen Heart is really important into the Gnar, because the Gnar can't auto-attack as much. Really important into the Zeri.
Into the
Frozen Heart's Frozen Heart's is really important in this game.
Yeah. All these short-range people who want that attack speed, well, guess what? Nope, none of that for you. As you're going to have this Udyr. This big burly man is going to be up in your face, and now Grubs are going to be grabbed by the side of Briarcliff as they have the rotation onto that. Bot laners left to their own devices. Fat Cat's down towards the bottom side of the map as well, so It should just go all into the favor of Briar. Oh, Quick trying to contest this. That's a Cyclone. You're not even Mega just yet. Quick getting a little bit overzealous. Jumps into a minefield and cannot go Mega just yet. As Kaiser dropped down under half HP. Has the shields and that movement speed from the Karma E. Kaiser stays alive, but this team fight is pretty scary for Drury to enter into.
I do want to put a word of wise to Drury fans here. Last game started roughly about how this game is starting. The last game did not end particularly well for Briar. So, if you're a Drury fan, don't feel don't be knocked out of it yet.
All right, Drury. We're gonna have a real talk here because my co-caster just said that, right? I'm gonna tell you guys that it's time to be knocked out. Because I think BCU needs a cheerleader right now, all right? And BCU, they got a better composition of what they had last time around. And that is the scary truth about this, right? They have so many more ways to team fight you. Start off these fights. The Wukong, the Udyr have so much more value. And with all the AoE that comes in from Ziggs and Seraphine, actually becomes a very, very hard situation to be into if you fall behind. In the last game, they did not have a great way of engaging. This time around, they have a much better way of engaging. They have a much better way of sustaining themselves inside of team fights. And Drury, your engage is hella conditional. As you can see, right now the conditions are being met for Quick to be getting slapped across the face. Otzi solo kills Quick.
Welcome to Frozen Heart plus Udyr. There's nothing more I need to say about this. There's no more analyzing. Frozen Heart means you cannot attack as quick. Nor likes to attack. Oh, they'll get out.
Drury got the dragon. They get out like bandits. They are okay. That was a scary situation. A bit of a pinch came across there. Now Otzi's going to go ahead and catch this wave. Make sure that the resource is cut off. Have this other minion wave crash on in. Briar, they're getting ahead in terms of gold. So that was pivotal for Drury to delay dragons from the side of Briar if they're going to continue snowballing.
Only Fat Cat's Bard does that. No one else's Bard does that.
Alright. So.
It's quieting down for a minute here.
They're chilling out. It makes sense with the composition that we have. I do wonder, actually, we do have a little bit more of that lethality. I've been a big advocate for Serrated Dirk as the most broken item in the game right now. Actually insane. Just to pay 1,000 gold for half an item's worth of lethality. It's crazy. Yep. But something else that's crazy is this gank. As Encore doesn't hit onto Yuno, they're going to go ahead and zap away, but they're not going to zap away the pain. Mike is going to find the kill secure, but yeah, on the other side of the wall, Kaiser joins into the fray. They're going to be able to lay in a good amount of hurt onto Yuno, but check out the way the fight split. As the rest of Briar could not touch Yuno. Really good stuff. Good use of the ghost and the ultimate there.
So yeah, Oxy's just really trying to force the issue here into Quick in the top lane, using the Awakened R basically at will. Generally, if you're playing top lane Udyr, you don't want to Awaken R that much. You Awaken W to make sure you survive, but realistically, Quick isn't doing enough damage to Oxy for him to care about awakening the W.
Yeah, it's there for sustain, right? Like,
yeah.
What good is sustain is if you're not really taking any hurt, right? So Otzi, that carry mentality is there. The tether connects. Mike, you're going to get rooted up regardless, but they do not have the follow-up to finish off Mike in that exchange. Mike will have to run back into the jungle, take a couple camps. They'll be able to rejoin into the fray, but that is big to get that much HP shredded off right before the Rift Herald.
Yuno's up a solid 25 CS here in the bot lane, and see Static Shiv starting to come through. Now, this is one of two Zeri builds that Zeri can go. One is the Static Shiv into Quick Blades or IE, Storm Razor in there, this energized attack build. The other one is the new items from this season, which is you build Experimental Hexblade, and then you build yourself into a Tiamat option. We won't see that one, which I think is the more fun build, considering you're an unkillable Zeri by the end of it.
I don't know if you're unkillable into this team composition. There's just so many things that can go wrong. Ryan taking a huge amount of damage as a bomb gets dropped on the dome through all the shields. It's not going to be able to stop you from feeling the pain.
A lot of pain being felt across the map here. Oxy is still just pushing right into Quick Slice, and Quick Slice cannot do anything about this.
Nope. Doesn't have the ability to, right? They've been put a little bit on the back end of it. They're doing fine in terms of the CS differential, though, which is a big thing to take note of. And they should have a decent amount of gold for themselves as well. It's just that solo kill plus 2 assists has really done a good amount of work for Otzi. And now that they saw that Rift Herald was secured, I love this from Quick Slice. Quick Slice says, guys, I gotta go. I can't be here anymore. There's at least 3 of them topside. They are dropping Rift Herald. I'm gonna get dove, guys. I need help.
Yeah, and Oxy TPing to bot lane to basically make sure.
Oh, the encore
no more
hits. They go on to Yuno. Yuno has to flash over the wall just to stay away from the Udyr. Udyr's not going to be able to touch him inside this fight. Zeri could possibly look to re-engage, but they will not have that pog slide to go through the wall. And Kaiser is going to go down. They're going to make the executive decision. A drift happens all the way through mid lane. Mike secures that. 2 towers for Briar Cliff. And they're able to take out the jungle. That is insanely good.
3 towers for Briar Cliff. They got both the top lane towers and managed to drift the Herald into the mid lane tier 1. And plus they're now getting this bottom tier 1 tower. It's looking like a good game for Briar Cliff right now.
I love it. This is what I was expecting to see from Briar Cliff. And this is why I say this team is so interesting to watch. Because they have good ideas. And you see, like, in game 1 to game 2, how they evolved the idea. They said, all right, the Ziggs was not a problem, right? We need a little bit more of a go button. We need something that is going to give us a better engage. So you can still play something that's brawlerly. You can still, like, go into these side lanes, right? You can still do your thing. But we need Michael and something to facilitate. And then we can do this composition with the Seraphine Senna if they're just going to give it to us on blue side. With the Ziggs to make up for the fact that we will need that destruction crew, that sieging ability. Really a big fan of how Briar Cliff has adapted their draft from game 1 to game 2.
I mean, it makes sense for what they've done. Question is Drury still was that late game team last game? Will they turn the Jets on? Will they be able to?
It's harder in this game.
It is definitely harder. We're not gifting quick slices 1v2.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just that, too, right? Like, the composition, your engage is so situational. Like, you need to have the Gnar ultimate going off the way you need to. And check this out. Otzi on this Udyr, 1v2 scenario, Quickslice just joined in to throw a boomerang out. But Otzi came out on top in a 1v2 scenario, right? Like, it is a very dangerous territory to be in, and you're very, very short range. And it gets harder to team fight from behind when you have a short range composition like this.
So Oxy is now building the mask.
Oh, goodbye, Kaiser. Kaiser's going to get taken out. Mike's going to be able to facilitate that kill. Going to find another member. Yuno goes over the wall, but hey, it's time to let it rip. Mike getting yet another kill. Quick slice on the back end. They teleported into the fight, and they are going to send themselves back to the fountain just as quickly as Orion. Nice tether. You're going to be able to stop them from being able to go in, but this Karma Bard does not pack the wallet, the damage that you need. And Mike out here marketing themselves for success is looking so freaking clean on this Wukong.
The entirety of Briar Cliff looks like they're a new team as compared to last game, right? They're not going in on a lot of these things. Ziggs has damaged this game.
Yeah, the Scorch finishings off there for the Ziggs on the kill. They find another one, and they're just lining them up, knocking them down. Drury, you were talking about late game win conditions that could possibly come out. Let me tell you something. Last game, 33 minutes was how fast Drury was able to finish off game number 1. Inside of game number 2, this is going to be 2 inhibitors that are going to drop down at the 20-minute mark. Briar Cliff is on top.
Yeah, they're just walking to the Baron right now. There's nothing else that Briar Cliff needs to do this game other than just get 2 waves pushing right to the Nexus Towers.
Every single bit of a resource and check
Except
it out.
maybe fight.
Fat Cat tried the check, thought that they were at the Baron. Beautiful position from Briarcliff. Briarcliff said, you know what? Let's act like we're going over the Baron. What are they going to do? Face check us? Huh, that would be funny. They do it. They say, oh, shoot, let's get him. Fat Cat goes down. Important member from the team is there's not going to be that tether anymore. You're not going to have that ultimate that will be available for your team anymore. So they can actually just reset here. They are like, all right, we took control over the map. Let's get our vision down. Let's get ourselves in a position. Next fight, we could possibly end the game.
Slowly, they'll try and make sure that they get the rest of this map, get the rest of the map going. Because no matter what they do, they still are going to have to answer someone like Quick Slice on the side lane. Make sure they are still putting pressure everywhere on the map. You don't want to lose this game to playing odd and not playing regular League of Legends.
A good bit of gameplay coming out from them as Briarcliff. Yet again, I talked about it earlier. I'm a big fan of the way they've turned things around inside of series. One of the smart teams. They said inside of an interview, inside of the MEC Clash, actually, that they said that they believe that they can beat anybody at any given time. Right? And they are a team that has some of the most unique ideas inside the MEC. And they're one of the teams that's more willing to play a lot of the random oddball stuff to make sure they get that advantage. And now, Baron is started. And this thing actually gets shredded pretty quickly from the side. Gnar is stuck down here having to deal with Otzi, who's just pushing in this wave. Yuno's there as well. They don't have a way to be able to contest this. They're going to have to look for possibly a Baron steal. They have vision. Kaiser knows. Oh, this is a very dangerous attempt that could possibly come out here. Flash is available for Kaiser, and nobody's body blocking.
In the back lines.
Yeah, Otzi's in the back line. He's wrapping around. They slowed down the Baron, actually. So this is big. Cyclone goes out. Let it rip. And now your jungler is falling victim. Kaiser goes down. Baron is off the map. Secured by Briarcliff. And now Briarcliff with the jungler down with the numbers advantage with Baron buff secured. They should be able to just walk it on down. They got a minion wave in the top lane. And they looking to make it a delivery to the Nexus.
Pushing in. So this is the last tower that's not the Nexus towers. Your tier 3 inhibitor tower gone. Mike going in on Quick Slice just to make it a little harder, and the bomb going over the top. They've got no health left on the Drury side, and they've got basically no towers either.
Yeah, Kaiser is going to be spawning, but look at how much damage gets done in an instance because they have this Zig. Satchel Charge comes up, and they'll be able to knock out a tower. One last desperate engage to be able to come out, but Kaiser is going to fall victim to their own desperation. They fall down. A tower has fallen on the back end of the fight as they are finding themselves getting hit by minions after minions, and now there is no defenses, and base has been laid bare. The encore, do you want more? Well, you're gonna get it. Briarcliff. We're going to a game number 3 with Briarcliff picking up a dub 10 minutes quicker than Drury in game number 1.
Not just 10 minutes quicker, it just felt way more decisive for Briarcliff. It felt like they had a better idea going into the game and were able to execute on it better. Every part of that draft felt better. Even the pick that was the same, even the Ziggs, which is the same exact matchup into the Karma, felt way better when you didn't give the Karma a couple kills in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Karma didn't get to run things right. It's supposed to be a neutral lane, so you don't want anybody really coming out of that with an advantage. And you're like, all right, that's cool. I'm Ziggs. I probably got to push that wave out. I probably got a tower plate or two. You know, it's cool. I'll get my incremental advantages. But I mean, Briarcliff, they said, all right, let's go. Drury just turned around and beat us at team fights because we didn't have a way to actually start off a fight in our favor. They said, all right, they're going to draft this conditional kind of draft again. Well, their engages are not something that they can constantly rely on, right? They're waiting on that Gnar to go big to be able to start off any fight, and the fight needs to be around a wall or else it's not going to work. So yeah. I really like the fact that Briarcliff said, all right, we recognize what we did wrong. And instead of doing anything too insanely crazy, he said, all right, we're going to take the pieces that work and we're going to move them around to make this more of a team fighting composition where we also have that massive siege that we wanted in game 1.
Yeah. The Udyr in the top lane was the star of the show to start this game. Like, it was, Oxy's Udyr is just as good as Oxy's Fiora or Oxy's Jack. He bullied Quick Slice through the entire lane. The first thing to take Oxy down was this like 1v3 in the top lane to just kind of make sure it get through. Oxy was incredible that game. We didn't even need to really see the Senna Seraphine bot lane come alive because they won too quickly.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm a big fan of it. Briar Cliff, we're going into game number 3. Before we do that, Logan, I heard that you were talking to me about something that you were really passionate about. You actually did a little dance. I don't know if you wanted to replicate that dance on camera here or not, but
yeah, so I'm part of a Counter-Strike beer league outside of this, and when we, as a group, a lot of people met up at IEM Dallas last year, big Counter-Strike event in the US, and it was the time that a lot of people got to meet each other for the first time in real life. These people we'd known online for years, and because of that, getting to an esports event, it's more than just like a place to compete. It's a social experience. You meet all these people you've met online, you grow, you bond with the rest of your people that you know, you create memories that kind of affect you for the rest of your life, and it captures the passion of esport in its truest sense. So gamers and their experiences are just one aspect that's covered in Unified's newest offering, Mastering the Arena People Power Esports, which you can read using the command !people power in the chat below. We'll be back after a quick break with map 3 of Drury versus Briarcliff.
First question. The event here today is a LAN. It's an offline event, so pretty unique in the ecosystem. What do you look forward to? LANs versus online.
It's a great bonding experience with the team more than anything. Like being able to pull up with the boys, hang out all day, play league. You know, I'm from Chicago, so
nice.
I can take the team to see some local spots around here.
Any big ones so far? Or on
I mean, we went to Portillo's yesterday, but I got a couple spots in mind. They're in town. Like I'm gonna try and get us pizza probably today.
Okay, from
we can go to Illuminati's. There's a couple different spots. My personal favorite, I like Michael's Bar and Tavern on Sheridan and Sheridan and Irving.
Michael's,
yes, named after me, of course.
Right. Well, I mean, you didn't have to tell me. I know. Then, second question: if you had to bring any character, whether it's a real person or game character, anything from anywhere, for to be the next character in League of Legends, who's it going to be?
Have any of the previous boys picked a character from another game yet?
Yeah. No, we've got a few.
I bring the Lich King. I think bringing Arthas to League would be fun.
Oh,
I think Arthas would be fire.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like nice CC based top laner.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, not bad. I mean, you're gonna have to jump through a few hoops to get that. I mean,
why not? Blizzard's going through a rough patch. They probably be willing to sell a couple rights here and there.
Easy. All right. Well, last question. You've been answered by some of your teammates, but who is most likely going to go viral on your team for whatever reason? Who's showing up on the For You page? Can't say
probably Inez, my top laner. It's a miracle that someone from Quebec is able to be decent at League of Legends. So I'm really happy for him. He's been struggling today. All right, he's been having his moments and whatever, but I think once people realize that we have a miracle of nature on our team, a good League of Legends player from Quebec will be fine. I think he'll be the first one to go viral.
I mean the Quebecois are gonna go crazy for this one. So all right, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you. Yeah, good luck in the game, sir.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to the MEC. We're ready to get into game number 3. That's right, I did not stutter. I did not say anything wrong with that statement. Game number 3 here on Saturday. It's our one game of the night, and we're here for a showstopper of a game here inside of game number 3 between two teams that are really vying for that position. They're not able to get that top 4 due to the record at the current moment in time, but 5th is actually a very big deal seal for them. They want to try whoever can secure that. That means that you're looking possibly at going up against the 4th seeded team instead of the 3rd. That's big with playoff implications coming around the corner. And both these teams, they don't want to lose here.
I don't think either team wants to lose here, but Briar really doesn't want to lose after the adaptations they made from game 1 to game 2, making it more of a front to back comp, less of a whatever the game 1 comp was, putting Oxy on this Udyr, making sure the Senna Seraphine bot lane was their insurance policy for late game. Didn't even need to take out the insurance policy, but hey, they got to.
And I mean, the fans that have came out for both of these teams, right? Drury, of course, has been a team that always comes in here. They have that hashtag, all we do is win. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to one of the Twitch people that I see actually here cheering on BCU. Music Letsy 14 is out here inside Twitch chat, like the lone bastion for BCU, and is doing a freaking good job at it. I have to shout him out just because there was a moment in time where I look back over at Twitch chat, and every now and then I look over and I'm seeing stuff like hashtag Team Edward. I'm like, please stop. I don't want to relive those memories of Twilight. I don't want that, please. But the hashtag pop off Queen Cammer, everybody loves Raymond, Zro is my hero, Otzi Clean, and Mike Wazowski. Hello. Mike Wazowski himself. Big fan.
I feel like there were 4 of those that are really nice and helpful to everyone, and then we have Mike Wazowski at the end, which really could go either way depending on your depiction of Monsters Inc.
I mean, here's the thing. I haven't met anybody who doesn't like Mike Wazowski, so Mike, hey, congratulations. You're a pretty likable dude.
All right. Let's talk about what's going to happen in this next game, because at this point, this book is useless. Both these teams are doing different things than what we expect to. Here's the thing. What are the adaptations we want to see from the last game? Because we know how Drury wants to play. They played the same way in game 1 and 2. They won game 1, they lost game 2. They want to play for late. The thing is, so does Briar, and they were just better at playing early for late.
I mean, that comes into the way they do their strategy here. I think Drury needs to adapt. I think the big thing that we've seen from them is they have put all they've done something that's risky, which is and put all your money on Yuno, which Yuno is a great player. Yuno is phenomenal. Yeah. Great player to put everything into. Why is it risky? Well, you're putting all your eggs in the one basket, and all it takes is for Briar to see that basket, slap it out of your hand, and all of a sudden, all your eggs are broken. You don't have any eggs anymore. It's ruined. There's no breakfast. There's no brunch. There's no lunch. There's no dinner. You don't have any eggs.
There's barely a basket left.
No.
You can't even carry them. If you even
it's gone.
So we're gonna have the draft here in a couple seconds. That's the important bit here. Is can Drury change their team's identity going into this draft to make it so that way they're able to play this game to the way that Briarcliff just played that last game?
I mean, they can. I think Quick Slice on a carry is a big answer for them. Gnar can carry.
Gnar.
I think the Gnar makes sense. It can't carry. It's just I want to see Quick Slice on something that feels like a side laner for him. I want to see them go into Otzi and say, all right, let's check you. I think personally, after the way that last matchup went, if Quick Slice, if you don't feel comfortable in the Udyr, there's no shame in banning it. You can drop. But the other problem that they also have now is that Briarcliff has shown something that will immediately make any team angry inside of a best of series. They showed Seraphine Senna, and nobody wants to play against Seraphine.
Yeah. So, we already have an adaptation. The first ban for Drury in the last 2 games has been Varus. Varus is still up right now. And they've banned the Seraphine and the Maokai. Maokai's been banned the whole series as well. This Seraphine means that it could be we could be leaving Varus up maybe for a Drury Varus pick, but it could also be left through to Briarcliff. They determined that Seraphine was just too brutal, and they're willing to see a Varus on the other side. The Karma's banned. First time this series.
Yeah, Briarcliff bans the Karma. So they take that away from Drury. Orion's been a menace on it. They get rid of the Ziggs as well. So it's an interesting thing to actually take away, because they said we don't like the flexibility that you're getting, and the Ziggs is actually a problem. Drury has said in both games, because remember, every single time that they've gone for a play, the Ziggs has been left alone to play with turrets, and that has not been something that they have enjoyed picking up behind. Yet again, Brand left open first pick.
Yeah, we saw Kaiser play this Brand in the first bit. We'll see if Kaiser plays it again this game. I do want to note that Orion's Hui has been banned for the first time this series. It wasn't banned before, wasn't banned the last game either. Oxy instantly itemizes right back into that Udyr, which I think is the right call. Excellent time on the Udyr, but you've left Cammer's Twisted Fate up.
Ooh, Twisted Fate was left open, and this is why I was so surprised by seeing Brand grabbed, or Brand even left open, but you have to take it away because you don't want Cammer to get it. But now Cammer gets Twisted Fate, and Quick Slice on the Twisted Fate would have been such a treat. But the Silas is an answer. This is the textbook answer to TF inside the mid lane.
Not only is it the textbook answer, it means that Briarcliff now, putting the Silas early means Briarcliff needs to think a little bit harder about their draft. The Darius has been a big counter into the Olaf. So this is Quick Slice throwing it down. He's on a carry again. We'll see how it performs into this Udyr.
Yeah, be good to go into Udyr, but this is where things get dangerous, and this is what I was concerned about. Nocturne was left open for Mike. The Twisted Fate Nocturne combo. I talked about how big this is actually for Briarcliff inside of game number 1 when we were going through the picks and bans. This is a combo that they have done and found success with. They haven't been able to win a series with it because most times that they picked it inside game 1, ran the team, and then turn around and lose the next 2 games after they got their champion pools pitched. They get targeted banned out. Mike is phenomenal on this. Cammer's phenomenal on this. This should be a good showing.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's looking like Briarcliff is getting everything they want, and it seems Drury is on the back foot to a degree. We'll see how that continues on, though, going into the second phase of the draft. Senna banned, so the other part of the Senna Seraphine lane. Misfortune, I believe that is banned.
Misfortune gone. Yeah. So it makes a
small
lot of
on my
sense
screen.
because this is actually what they have seen from Briarcliff. Briarcliff has loved doing the Misfortune paired together with Rel in the bot line. When they've ran this composition in the past, they like going for a team fighter inside that AD carry position. Keep our eyes peeled. Remember, this TF could still have the potential to go AD if they want, but the Caitlyn coming across.
Okay.
I like the Caitlyn actually with turning the lights out and having advantage with the lane. But now we have the question: is there going to be like a Lutz support coming out?
So Zaya Rakan would actually. Oh, do it, Fat Cat.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth the takeaway if you take it with Zaya, right? Because
I don't know if it's worth.
I would just take the
either,
Rakan.
but I would take the Rakan here. Let Ray have that Lux
or the Rel. I would take either Rakan or Rel.
You're knowing ahead of time you're playing into a Lux, a Kate Lux lane, thinking that if you leave the Lux up that they'll be going towards it. But Raymond may also do something different. I alluded to a Janna earlier. I don't think it's coming through. The Lux being...
You're being teased. You're being played.
Being teased.
Your heart,
they know.
Your heart is being played full. That's
I
a
know.
Lutz. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, no, it does. That is the correct pick. But you know what? I wanted to see Janna.
I'm personally for Briarcliff and Briarcliff enthusiasts out there. I'm sure they're happy that that's not a Janna because I do not like playing Janna Caitlyn.
I'm sure they are.
I personally am a bit more happy that we have ourselves a Lutz inside of here. I don't think Drury is appreciating that as well because this is a hard lane, even though you're the lovers duo.
There is no AD carry that likes to play against Lux. It is infuriating to play against Lux. It is one of my most hated support champions to play against. It's just not fun. But we'll see if Rakan can make it a little more fun. Rakan should be able to just kind of slingshot off Zaya to maybe hit up the Lux. We'll see how it goes in the lane. But we're getting into this last game of the series.
Yeah, last game of the series, last game of the night, game number 3. Who will win? Let's go ahead and find out exactly what we got going on. We're going to find out on the Rift. And if you want to as well, I highly advise you go ahead and put your eyes over to the Twitch chat. There is a poll. You can gamble if you want to on who is going to be able to come out on top here inside of game number 3 between Drury and Briar. These two teams competing for that elusive 5th seed at this current moment in time. A win here is huge for both sides to be able to decide what exactly goes on in the future for them.
We'll see how both of these go. It's going to be a question of, at least early, this top lane is going to be the question. Raymond is playing it. Wait, whoa. What's going on in the bot lane?
Whoa.
Caitlyn has a support item. Lux has a Doran's ring.
Whoa.
What's going on here? Double support item is not a thing anymore.
It's not.
We got rid of that.
It's gone.
What?
This is a lethality Caitlyn, I think.
What's going
with a carry Lutz.
What is going on?
So, I've played lethality Caitlyn.
Yeah.
It is very fun.
But
it's not the traditional support that you would take in this. This is another one of those things where Briarcliff just kind of does as they please. However, this means that Caitlyn is... The idea behind it is you are going to be constantly out-trading them because you outrange them completely. Screw farming minions, sit in the bush, get your headshots quickly, and just constantly poke out on them with auto attacks. It's a volatile strategy, but it's one that can be very effective at working, especially since lethality isn't the most expensive thing in the game, right? 1,000 gold is all you need for a serrated Dirk, and that gives you 10 lethality. That's over half of what a full item's lethality will give you.
Yeah, expect to see Umbral Glaive early. I don't know about this.
I'm here for it. I like it. I like the theory. I like the theory. Let me correct myself. I like the theory behind it. It can go bad very easily.
Yeah.
But right? That's what makes League of Legends so exciting, right? It's not written in stone until a Nexus explodes.
I don't know about this, man. This seems okay. So this seems like it would be okay, right? If you pick the Caitlyn and you have the Lux gets picked from you, and you pick like a Seraphine or something like that, right? And you go Seraphine carry and a Caitlyn support. But when you have both the Caitlyn and the Lux, wouldn't you just want to play the strongest version of this lane?
They are.
They are. Would like to note that I am the only person who gambled on this game using my Twitch channel points. So,
oh, proud of you. What's going on? All we do is wins and all the hashtags that are going through the chat. Hello, where are you guys at?
Yeah, so I only can lose.
Only you can lose. Well, good flash coming out very quick from Zero, but check out Mike coming around onto the side yet again. It's a case of deja vu, a beautiful counter gank. It's a trade, 1-for-1 at the end of it. Jungler gets a kill on each side. Fat Cat barely dodging out on getting hit with that light binding, but it's a good read on the play by Mike to get on top of Kaiser.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that it was a first blood, that is even across the board. Like, incredibly even across the board. All of the differences is Mike's going to be up like 200 gold from that. As composed to the brand. And
oh my goodness. Quick Slice is in a position inside as Otzi chose for this fight. Quick Slice will get the healing back. And this is why Darius is picked into the Udyr. Those sustain trades are no longer your friend.
Not at all. No more. Can you just no-brain this in top lane? Oxy, you need to be careful of the Darius if you want to get through this lane, because Darius will win this lane.
Flash is still available. Teleport had to be used. Remember, this Darius is Ghost Flash, so they are straight up saying we're going to dominate you inside of the laning phase and make things work for you. As you can see, the binding missing out. Hits 2 minions instead. Unfortunate. Unlucko. Mana is low. Those numbers are looking kind of Yeah, you might need to look at back in here very shortly if you're the bot lane of Briar.
Yeah, I would love for Yuno to step up here. Yuno is in a decent position. Just okay.
Go card is going to lay out the hurt that's needed. Orion trying to go in on the Silas. And this is not a pick that we traditionally get to see from Orion, but Hammer on this comfort of theirs. They did have to burn the flash to make sure they don't go down. Able to come out on top.
Speaking of top, Quick Slice is just getting so many stacks right onto Oxy. He does have the ultimate. That symbol above the Olaf's head means there's 5 hemorrhage stacks right on top of him. Means that ultimate's going to do the most possible damage for Quick Slice. Noxian Guillotine. They won't use it.
Man, this is actually a very interesting game state to be inside of too, just because Nocturne is going to be able to, get up to 6 here very shortly. Nocturne 6 is a huge impact point, and I'm keeping my eye. I don't think Camera will use the Destiny until Paranoia is available for Mike. That's where this combo becomes very deadly, and there's a lot of options to be able to choose from.
There's a lot of places you can go to, and with Quick Slice pushed this far ahead, this is how Quick Slice wants to be pushed the whole game. Nocturne is really scary, because he can just ult right into you. Fat Cat gonna try and clear this ward, but could be a little dangerous. Walk out.
Fat Cat takes a hit, gets a little pat. Swifty boots are made for walking up into the top lane as well. Ryan very swiftly grabbing the Destiny. Yoink that bad boy. By the way, it's an electrocute Silas. It's not something that we normally see here inside the MEC. We tend to see the more sustained builds coming out from Silas. So I'm wondering if we will see that aggressive itemization. That's a flash forward off of a rotation by Quick Slice. Hammer, you don't got flash. You got no hope. You are gone to the guillotine. Dude, Kaiser.
Well, there's Kaiser what?
I was gonna say Kaiser's been down here for so long.
Yeah, there should be a tent at this point. But yeah, I want Yuno to play a little bit further up. Fat Cat is in a really great position to be able to E onto Yuno, and then use the knock up from there, the grand entrance. So let's see if Yuno can play a little bit more forward. It may mean that Fat Cat is able to get some more of these hits through. They want to disrupt the Lux Caitlyn early lane. I know that switching the Lux to be the primary carry means this will be a little bit better late game, as Lux will have some more itemization and some more money, but doesn't mean it'll be awesome.
I like how you kind of like, I could hear you kind of cringe back on that. You're like, it's not gonna be awesome, but
it'll be better than Caitlyn Lux late game, which is fine. This may even border on good late game.
Whoa, you're saying that this would be good late game?
But I'm not willing to say that this would be as good as, like, I don't know, a Jinx Thresh or something like that.
Wow, thinking outside the bots. I don't think we've had I think we've only had like 1 or 2 Jinxes actually inside the MEC. We haven't had one in regular season play. Good flash and Ghost coming out from Darius, but check it out. Sights got turned. Orion's like, bro, I wasn't even supposed to be the one that got jump scared. Hello? Otzi goes on in, lays in a good amount of hurt onto him as Kaiser's trying to lay out the hurt, but the fancy feet, the dancing shoes, they're onto Otzi. Now it's time to practice a little bit of some social distancing, as if you don't, Kaiser's going to be able to eat up your HP bar. Quick Slice over the wall is not being able to hit any of the targets. As you can see, Mike getting the kill onto Orion. Fat Cat over the wall, and yet again, another kill in hot pursuit. Mike finds 2, and the 3rd picked up on the back end there. An easy trip coming on out from Mike. 4 members fall from Drury. Briar come out on top.
Quick Slice, the one that started that fight, was the only one to survive. And survive he did, but it's looking a little rough now in every lane other than top. If you're a Drury fan, up 1,500 in the jungle, up 700 in the mid lane, roughly even in the bot lane. It's start there. Briarcliff is starting to put the money where it needs to be on Camera and Mike.
Bro, what are you going to do, though, when Mike Wazowski runs wild on you, brother? That's what I really need to ask you.
He's only got one eye.
He's only got one eye, but that's fine. He can keep his eye on you inside of the team fights. This has been a great showcase for Mike. And look at it. Off of one Destiny Paranoia play that blew double summoners from Quick Slice to start things off right inside that fight, they turned our attention. They switched things out. They slowed down the pace. And immediately, now we're in a point in time inside the game where so many big points are being hit. Malignance has been built onto the Lutz as well. That is a big spike. Raymond, tagged, flashing over the wall, is staying safe. But you got to look over at Briarcliff. Threat has been established.
Throw going Malignance is a little odd. I assume Malignance would come through as a second item, but generally with Lux, we see Luden's Companion being the first item through. We'll see how it affects the damage this early, but Camera can't just kill Camera right now.
Playing that ADTF, and then Mike comes around onto the side and says, hey, remember me? You're messing with my mid lane? What you think you're doing over here? Mike soloing out Orion inside of that exchange, but quick rotation, they grab and bag Raymond.
Experimental Hexblade is built on Mike, and that's another huge spike. We talked about Nocturne spikes. That 6 was this big spike. Well, Experimental Hexblade is another big spike because it allows him to get the ult up quicker and quicker and quicker.
It's
one of those. It's an item that's just, it's terrible on so many champions, but on like 3 of them, it's excellent.
Yeah, no, it's you're not gonna have anything to be able to stop him inside this, and it's a very big item on the Nocturne to have so early. You're gonna be able to itemize really well for that exchange. Quick Slice taking a good amount of damage. Destiny has been popped, and guess what? You got an ADTF inside your lane. Hammer gets dropped down very low as the passive was massively stat. The guillotine comes on down, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. And now it's gonna be poor old Camera. Destiny has been turned against you, my friend. But the flash over with some clever footwork, dancing shoes for Briarcliff. They know how to tango.
Oh, that could have been so good. That ultimate from Orion could have gotten the kill onto Camera, but instead a flash over the wall and the Camera just barely survives that. Quick Slice has gotten so ready to go in every single one of these fights, right? He got the solo kill early in the lane, and since that point he has been trying his hardest to continue to push his advantage. But every time he tries to go in, there's an ultimate from Camera, or there's a teleport from Camera. Camera or someone is always there.
Orion caught out of position. They're gonna try and trade out. They get the electrocute, but they can't get that last auto to finish away the kill. And just like that, Camera in all chat is telling Orion, Mike, my deck has no weak cards. You don't want to tango with me inside of this matchup. And Camera on top with this ADTF. It's the first time we've gotten to see them play it, and they are putting in some good work on it.
He's got Exodia. That's what his deck is. It's just Exodia.
I have 40 cards in my deck. Guess what each one of them is? It's Exodia, the Forbidden One, the left arm, the right arm, the left leg, the right leg. Let's go. I always thought it was weird, by the way, that Exodia, there is rules that specifically against that. You are correct, production. But I always thought it was weird that Exodia didn't have a torso card. I always looked at the fact that they had the head. I never thought of the head having a torso that went along with it. Just fun facts.
No, which is interesting because I have a long story for another day. Quick Slice gets chunked down in the top lane from Moxie. Yeah, here's the thing: as much as Darius is an Udyr counter, it's just kind of someone who also happens to do well in lane with an Udyr. Right, it's not like it's a huge, massive counter. It's not like you insta-win lane because you're playing Darius into Udyr. Udyr still does Udyr things.
It is, yeah. No, it's, Udyr still does as they please. But, you know, with Darius, it's those sustained trades that you really want to go for, right? But now we're at that point in time where the armor items have been completed. Darius is coming back to lane with that Triforce, got a long sword. So they should be able to do a decent amount of damage into the Udyr now. But this Udyr is doing a good job sustaining back. It's kind of in that point in time now where it's kind of even. It can kind of go either way depending on how the trades go. Udyr kind of has to adopt like hit and run tactics, right? They just can't let that bleed stack up to 5 or else they will fall victim to the guillotine.
Yeah, as I said, Oxy needs to play slightly smarter in Udyr. Not that it's particularly smart to play Udyr, but just slightly smarter.
Go. Rift Herald has been started. Who will secure it? And it is going to be Briar Cliff, but the answer back from Drury, they are going to be able to find out Cammer, who's going to pop Destiny. Can they get away? They sure cannot. And that will be a kill going over. Drury have to sacrifice 1 to make it happen.
It's not a bad sacrifice. At the end of the day, it's not bad. Briarcliff making sure that Drury cannot get the 3rd grub. Making sure that the Rift Herald gets picked up.
It's already back up, bro. What is this character? What is this item?
Experimental Hexblade.
Ah!
Steric's Gauge should be soon, not far behind for Mike. I believe that's what that phage is building into. Just means Mike's gonna really be unkillable.
Yeah, it's just how the game will go for a bit of time. As you can see, Kaiser is opting for a bit more of an offensive build than what they had inside of game number 1 when they piloted Brand last time, which makes a lot more sense with everything being compared. And also, Otzi is going for, I think, a Leandri's as their second item.
Yep, Oxy did this last game too. There was a Haunted Guise. We'll see what it goes into. It probably should be Leandri's, but you never know. I've been one to do a little Rift Maker building on Udyr instead, but we'll see either way.
Little spice and everything nice,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So,
what kind of
ready
rifts
for
you be making?
all of the rifts,
Ooh.
and also none of the rifts.
Oh.
Some of the rifts, in fact.
Confusing.
Summoner's Rift.
Oh, I like Summoner's Rift.
It's a good rift.
Yeah, I like it. All right.
I
like the cut of your jib.
A fight that does not go anywhere.
There was no fight at all, so it actually just didn't happen.
Well, there was a teleport. It looked like they was thinking about fighting.
Not at all.
No,
I read their
nothing,
mind.
nothing.
They were never going to fight. They just wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
That's it.
Interesting Nocturne fact.
Number...
We are 4. I don't know. Number many. Big Nocturne.
Are you going to be able
players,
to hold on to that? Because Otzi's about to go down inside of this. I got a fact for you, and is this sustained trade does not go in your way. A shutdown going over to Quick Slice, and this is why you picked the Darius.
Yep, Darius, real good counter.
And oh no, the paranoia! No, leave him alone! He's gonna go down, diving in deep. It's a-okay. Cammer, you're tanking tower, buddy. You need to get out of there because there is a lot of danger coming your way. Cammer's actually just like running around saying, I want this tower and I'm gonna get it. We'll fall victim for it, but first brick claimed for the side of Briar Cliff.
Cameron doesn't have a bounty. He's been everywhere this game, but has died a couple of times, so his life isn't worth a huge amount right here. This is like specifically this Swiss of Fate, right? You can just die for the tower. That's relatively okay for them. 1 for 1, but you get a tower to win. So Nocturne, fun fact, is this Rift Herald comes through and charges into the top lane. We are 4 patches into Season 14. I guess this will be Nocturne fact 3, I guess, from this game. We are 4 patches into Season 14. Lethality is still the recommended build path for Nocturne.
Nice. You know what else is recommended? Yet again,
Not doing
I
this.
say practice your social distancing when there's a brand on the other side. 6 feet, everyone, 6 feet. Kaiser, making sure to give a grim reminder, telling them, hey, yo, you guys need to back it up. You're getting a little too close to each other. It's an even game. 33.4K on both sides of the Rift. 10 kills for both sides of the Rift. 2 dragons in favor of Drury University. 1 dragon for Briar Cliff. This is anyone's game still at this moment.
10-10, gold even for all intents and purposes, grubs even, towers a little Briarcliff favored. It's about as even as you're going to really ask for. Now, I do need to note that Mike has a 2,000 gold lead in the jungle. That's where most of the gold is stored right now on Briarcliff. Mike has been a menace in this game so far.
But look over on the other side. Having that big gold lead as well. And check it out. Cameron also has that lead. Comes in, says, hey, yo, Mike, I'm your support here. Let's get things going. This is a Baron play. Teleport coming in from the Twisted Fate over onto the side. This thing is not going down anytime considerably soon. Going to go ahead and hit him with the gold card, lay in a good amount of hurt. That's going to be the Piercing Light coming on through as they go ahead and try to blind out the side of Drury. That gold card still coming in massive, but Quick Slice gold carded is hit. The Kraken Slayer is taking out the knots in general as Cameron just free hitting inside of the fight. Look at HP bars dwindling. They're low as can be. There is no ace in the hole available for Briarcliff to try and finish off any of these retreating members. But what a gamble by Drury, but Briarcliff called a bluff.
Called the bluff well. It's a 1-for-1, and Drury has to back off here. But Briarcliff, what can they really get for this? There's no dragon up for 2.5 minutes, and they didn't get they didn't get enough players down for them to really go to the Baron. They can't push waves. They just kind of get a kill on a Darius and walk away.
Dude, it is absolutely just...
The only thing hurting from this is Noxian Pride. Yeah, Zero does a lot of damage.
That Malignance plus that, dude, that Malignant shreds magic resist too, which is like the pretty insane thing about the whole situation, is because you can actually, big ult to go along with it already. You do a good amount of damage already. It's like shredding 10 off of you while you're inside of that little poison pool. So you're taking just that much more damage from this Lutz. The Event Horizon has been grabbed, which is a absolute giga busted item onto the Lutz. There's just so many things. I mean, the Horizon Focus, not Event Horizon, but Horizon Focus coming in. This is honestly really, really big breakpoints being hit for Briarcliff. And I feel like if you're Drury, that little bit of pressure that you just felt that made you go for that gamble play inside the Baron, it's so very real and valid at this current moment in time with some of the item breakpoints that are being hit with that Stride Breaker, with that Rage Blade.
It looks like Drury is kind of thinking about doing it again. Didn't go so well last time, so we'll just do it again.
I just realized, by the way, Caitlyn did not go what I thought they were going to do.
No,
so Raymond,
that's not lethality.
Here's the thing. I was expecting, if they were going to go crit, right? I was expecting Serrated Dirk into crit. Because, Serrated Dirk works, you get your lethality. It's the most broken item in the game. It is really good value. You can go Collector if you really want to, and just, finish that off later on. You don't have to rush Collector. But it's really good. I'm actually very surprised that we did not see that. Coming in from the side, Otzi's getting cleaned up. Goes on a killing spree off of that.
Oh, Quick Slice right to the back line.
Drew gets caught up. No passive available through good use of the slow, but guess what? They going down anyways. Orion yoinks the Lutz ultimate and says, I'm going to take you for a ride. And now it's time. Baron's being started up. Quick Slice in a great position to be able to body block. Briarcliff, they're going to call Destiny. They have vision on the members as needed. It's only at half HP. They slowed down the pace of the Baron. Here we go. Lights turned out. Gold card comes in. They're going to choose to try and burn down a couple of the key members. What is all happening? Baron is secured by Drury, and Camber goes down. Nocturne is gone. Raymond is the only one left standing around the pit, but they're just going to be another victim on the list. Drury coming out on top of some smooth plays.
They're making sure that they're getting their most out of this game. Every single fight is going down to the wire. They're trying to get just picks across the board to make every fight easier. Both teams are not just Drury, not just Briarcliff, but both teams are in a constant death spiral together with each other, Quick Slice is going to try
Orion.
and take down Oxy.
Oh, they're going to be able to find it. Quick Slice goes down. Otzi is running for the hills. He's going to re-engage. Find another kill. Orion drops. That's 2 members with Baron buff peeled off of them. Ace in the hole comes out. Fat Cat almost takes their shot. And some nice tempered shot calling gets lost in the chaos that Briar brings to the Rift.
The Lovers recall there, making sure that Yuno and Fat Cat get out with their lives in the mid lane as the rest of Briar is trying to siege this tower now.
Yeah, they're going to be able to do it. Remember, they do have double AD
Successful.
with this.
Ooh.
Oh, there he goes. Okay, one more hit was all it took. There is a bit of a scary situation. Teleport was used by Cammer to actually go for that flank as well. So, the fact that they got that Lovers recall is huge for them actually, because that is a summoner that was trying to be used to stop them. Briar want to peel off more Baron buffs. They want to take out more members from the side of Drury. They want to regain control over the game. It's only a 3k deficit just about, and they are not out of it just yet. They got the comp, they got the moves. Can they be able to smooth over Drury? Because they're going to have to fight a little bit harder now with Drury being able to find the advantage for the first time inside this game, number 3.
Not only is it just a 3k advantage, that 3k advantage is dwindling. It's down to 2.5 now. And it's been
here we go. Paranoia yet again, but check it out. Orion saying, all right, bet, I'm flashing. I don't need to deal with this. This does mean another tower is going to drop as a result, though.
Yeah, down to 2,000 now, this gold lead. And this entire gold lead was made and paid for by the Baron buff. Baron buff's running out.
It's going bye-bye at this moment in time. Camera says, I got a gold card. You really want to try and walk up on me? You know, trying to press the aggression. It's going to have to use the Featherstone to make sure they don't get burst and put out of action. As you can see, Raven trying to pop off another shot, looking for the dome. And instead, it's not going to be anything found. They're going to have to walk on back home. Quick Slice now finding the passive fully stacked on top of Otzi. Trying to put him in the botsy. Is he's just continuing to go forward, force dancing on up. These waves, they're pushing. Udyr hitting and running. He's going to jump back in. He said the passive gone. There's no hope. There's nothing to be able to sustain you. Paranoia comes out, lights out for the team. But Otzi is going to be the one that's taking out real obscene. Orion gets burned down. Camber finds the kill yet again. And the action on 2 opposite sides of the map is completely unrelenting. But now, Briar, you got to go ahead and make your great escape. As you gotta get on out of Dodge as the rest of Drury is here to chase.
Everyone's gonna take a breath now. This is
I refuse.
This is our waiting game for a minute.
I refuse to take a breath.
So far this series, it's been better top laner wins the game. In the first map, Quick Slice was the better top laner on the Gnar, making sure he got fed early and quickly. In the second one, Oxy on the Udyr was the better top laner. In this game, here's the question. Will the Darius be the better top laner, or will the Udyr pull through and win the game for their team?
Bro, you're talking about top laners, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, sure, I get it. Cool,
Yeah.
top lane. Bro, look at Yuno.
Yeah.
8-1-2. This Zaya is popping off. The Lovers duo is too powerful here, right? This Lovers duo is showing us what the power of love is able to do inside of this game. They're popping off, doing big numbers for Drury down here in the bot lane. While on the opposite side of things, it's Briar, it's that jungle, it's that mid. They are popping off inside of the game here. It's not about the top lane matchup. You can say better top wins after the rest of your team is able to find ways to try and gap them. But right now, it's Drury's bot lane who's trying to gap. It's the mid jungle duo from Briar that's trying to gap. We are looking at 2 sides of a coin here, as you can talk about that all day, all week. But what it's coming down to is this Paranoia Destiny is making things look real bleak. They go on in, Mike goes in with the spell shield, but check it out, he gets dunked, taken off of the rift, clean as can be. Briar falls victim to the bait.
It's the first kill of many if they want to get and continue their push here to make sure that Briar does not win the game. Drury has much more to go. Remember that Briar was able to take both the tier 2 the tier 2 towers in mid and bot, and a tier 1 in top lane, as opposed to just the tier 1 in mid and bot taken for Briarcliff. There's Destiny.
They're using it just for the vision here. Otzi is gone yet again, though, and now TF full vision on where every member is. Baron spawns in 10 seconds. That is not a good death timer to have. That's 45 seconds on the clock. It's ticking down now. Not turns back onto the field. You got Mike coming on up again. But you know what? We're not worried about Baron. We're worried about bigger things. As you got a dragon, a Chemtech Soul that is available for Drury to be able to take. They have secured themselves Chemtech Soul. And Briarcliff, this is probably one of the worst scenarios they could be in. The solo kill coming out. Cammer finds it underneath the tower, but a trade 1-for-1. The paranoia coming on in. They're going to be able to stop the bats. They're trying to get the kill onto the Zaya. It's dropped down very low. They've got low HP members. Kaiser going down would be huge for a possible Baron attempt, but they're not going to be able to get it. They just chase them down into the bot side. They can't even rotate fast enough to be able to go over to the Baron.
Is the carry. You're right. Better top wins is always the statement that I get to say, but in this game, it doesn't matter, because when your ADC has an 11 kill death ratio, it doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter anymore. The Zaya is so ahead right now.
Has been consistently growing to be one of the strongest players inside of this team. They have been putting in work, series after series, performance after performance. They've had some moments at the very beginning of the season where people were questioning, but look, your questions may be laid to rest. Another great answer. Drury grabs Baron. They grab another tower, and the gold lead starting to shift back into the favor of Drury. It was evening up. It was clean as could be, but hey, this sophomore player coming out on top.
What more can Briarcliff do here to try and push and get a lead? Because at this point, it seems that the lead has been stagnated, and every time Briarcliff try and make a play, Drury is there and make sure that Briarcliff can't do anything.
Want my honest answer?
Yes.
Give up on trying to catch out Yuna. Every single time they've tried to do the not turn TF combo onto Yuna, it's failed. Because of the fact that Yuna can Featherstorm, Fat Cat is peeling for them at all times. They have great synergy between the two of them as a bot lane. You need to not go for them. It does open you up for a weakness on the opposite side of the map wherever you're making a play, but you gotta find a way to pivot to make it to where you have a numbers advantage, and possibly from there, you might be able to carry something out. And this is what I like to see. They're going to go ahead and triple man up into the top side. Pop your ghost, pop your flash, run the hell away. Quick slice as the rest of the team is there to be able to keep you at bay. Going ahead and laying that light onto them is going to force out the heal. 4 members strong inside of the mid lane. Orion yoink that ace in the hole, pop the shot into them, and they are going to back up at their own dismay. This game, it looks like it's going to chill out for a little bit longer as Drury just trying to get a couple of these little bits of standing gold on the map.
They're trying to continue and push their lead right now. That's what the big thing is. There's nothing up for them to take. They have the Baron buff. The Elder Dragon is not up for another almost 3 minutes. So what do you have to do in this time? You want to push your lanes. You want to push your towers. Now, they've done considerably better with this. They've got tier 2s in mid and bot lane and the tier 1 in top lane. But they still need to continue to push. By the end of this Baron buff, they really need to push for an inhibitor, and they're not there yet.
Not at all. Baron spawns in 3.5. Elder Dragon 2.5. I feel like that Elder Dragon is going to be our decisive exclamation mark on the game. You can see Raymond trying to open up a bakery around the Dragon Pit at this current moment in time. But Fat Cat sees a target. It's that Lutz that has no mobility to speak of. Is legendary.
And that's an inhibitor tower gone and an inhibitor soon to follow. They could be looking for an end here. Camera has got to use the TP to get back.
Yeah, they had to accelerate that very, very quickly. But the rest of the team, they say, all right, cool, bet we got a TP out of it. Isn't that great? Don't we love that? The back didn't get stopped either. So Quick Slice is going to be able to rejoin the team if they want. They're going to catch top wave first. Dragon doesn't spawn for another minute and a half, so they're just going to take the advantage of this time to go ahead and clear out some of the vision. I mean, good stuff from Drury. I mean, they're playing things slow and at their own pace.
They're making sure they're not doing anything too stupid, really. It's making sure they're not rushing into a decision.
Oh, wait a
There's
second. Here we
Mike
go.
and
They're going to
Cameron.
go ahead and say they're going to catch out a member over onto the side, and that is going to be a major one. Quick Slash down. Guardian Angel will buy him a little bit more time to be able to stay alive in this instance, and the rest of the team joining up with him means they do not lose Quick Slice on the exchange. What a big member of your team to be able to still have. And now Mike is going to have that ultimate up for the dragon fight, but they're not going to have that destiny up, it looks like.
They won't have the Destiny up. They won't have the Paranoia up.
Wait a second.
They
They're
actually
going
will
for
have
Quick
the
Slice.
Paranoia up.
Check it out. Hey, yo, you know what's great about that Go card? Plus, I'm going to auto attack you 11 million times. Fat Cat wants it down bad for to be able to get the catch onto Raymond. You know, yet again, legendary. Hope you're not lactose intolerant because he's just going to keep on going, pressing the advantage
gonna
on
be end of
Ford's
game.
Rose. The next person, that's the double kill going on over to Yuno as they're continuing to pick up bodies. The Paranoia comes on through. They're going to lay in a good amount of damage, but everything's going to be put into a halt. Mike goes down as well. Aussie trying to cut the waves, but it doesn't matter as the rest of Drury is just not caring about it. Camera trying to split away the base. They're going forward. He's going to be able to decimate the towers, but check out the TP that did go about. You see Aussie trying to clear out the minion was trying to make sure there's not going to be anything to be able to go underneath the tower as Camera is caught out of the position. Orion is picking up the kill, possibly into that top lane fight. Minions are crashing into the base of Briar Cliff. Everything has been spread to every other direction, but there's still one objective that remains. Drury says, screw it all. We don't need to end the game right now. We're just going to go grab Elder.
It had all the makings of a base race. I had flashbacks. All the makings.
Oh, Orion with the flash forward, but it's going to get eviscerated by some of these card slaps coming over across, and he gets it with the Elder Dragon, finishing them off. Ray Boss down.
Lichbane hadn't had much use all game. Orion had been in a really tough position most of the game, getting beat out on every side lane he went to. But that right there, that's the only kill that matters. It's the only death that matters, making sure the camera is down for the next 35 seconds. And with an Elder buff for the rest of Drury, they're going to start the victory march here.
Gotta turtle up. You gotta make something defensive happen here. You can see, like I was talking about earlier on, hey, yo, you guys like sweets? I hope you do. Caitlin's opened up a bakery just for you. But the answer from Drury is saying, okay, you know what? We're not going to contest you. We're just going to go over. This Baron is gone. Blink and you miss it. It is off of the field, and you're going to be able to have that for yourself. Hammer is going to be able to respawn. Destiny has been used. They're going to be able to jump into the base. Check it out. The flank coming out from Orion. Is they're going to be able to join into the fray. That's going to be one member drop, and the guillotine there with the bleed as Raymond is going to fall as well. That Elder Dragon putting in all the work that's going to be needed. GA is there, but you got no angel waiting for you. Only despair. Orion finds the kill, and Drury University, they come out, they win game number 3. 38 minutes in the game. Briar Cliff threw everything at him, but it just wasn't enough. The tenacity of this team.
Yuno was the reason they won game 1. Yuno was the reason they won game 3. That's it. There's nothing more to analyze. The Xayah was incredible this game.
You gotta give credit where it is due. The Xayah was phenomenal inside of game number 3. Orion as well. I want to give a shout out at the very end there, being able to stop Camera from being able to finish off the game, right? They teleported in. They had a 1v1 play. They were trying to do everything. You could tell that they were dancing around each other. They were evenly matched up with one another. But when it came down to it, right? It did become Orion getting the final definitive kill inside that solo lane that set the pace, right? They couldn't get that split push. The base race became obsolete. The Elder Dragon was secured. The Baron fell after. And by the time Camera came up, the only thing they could do was watch everything explode in front of their face. What a great showing from Drury.
It was textbook. They literally, if you had written a textbook on how do you end a League of Legends game, that is literally what the textbook says. They didn't do anything ridiculous. They went, hey, we have a numbers advantage. Let's go get the dragon. Hey, we can't end the game right now. What's up? Oh, look, a Baron's up. Let's go get.
What's
they
up?
they literally did. Like, if you put out a flow chart that said, "How do you end a League of Legends game?" They followed it.
Yeah. Can't complain about that. I know that we have some people that would be a little bit heartbroken about it. Briar put on a good show. This is two teams that we already knew. Like, this was going to be a banger. Shout out to the people that were supporting Briar inside that instance, because they were giving up a match, but it is all we do is win, is all that can be said inside the chat. So, a little taste of despair. It's a little sour, but they have to go on with it. Briar will be back. They still got more games ahead of them before we get into the playoffs. But before we go ahead and throw it over to an interview where we'll talk to a member from Drury, we're going to go ahead and very quickly tell you about something that you don't have to despair about, because soon, well, it depends on what side you're on in regards to this. MEC will be coming to a close here soon. Playoffs comes about, and that's a reason to be sad, but something to be excited about is the finals of some of the best action that you're going to be able to see here inside of Collegiate League of Legends. So make sure you go ahead and check out the MEC finals to be able to catch that on out. You can go use the ! Spring Tournament to be able to find out exactly where you'll be able to get your tickets. Go ahead and pre-purchase, get yourself ready, get yourself live and in person. They're going to be over at Illinois College. Last year, it was great. And you know what? We're going to see more matches like this. We've had some bangers here with the MEC when we've seen this competition hit. And you know what? That energy when you're live and in person is absolutely intoxicating. So we hope to see you there. We're going to go ahead and throw it over to that short break. We're going to talk to a member from Drury. And when we come back, we're going to get those lovely, lovely deets. So make sure you do not touch that browser. Welcome everyone back to the MEC. I'm Travi. I'm joined here with Mecca. We got Fat Cat. Congratulations on the dub.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate it.
Bro, that was a tough series. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here. I walked into the series. I was like, all right. This should be a good series. We got down to game 3, and I'm sitting here like bouncing up and down over here. I got my standing set up, walked out, and I'm just running. I'm doing my laps. I'm getting my cardio in. How are you able to deal with a series like this where it is so touch and go and so tight, right? Like you guys could have easily flipped either way in all 3 games.
I feel like I don't remember what happened in game 2. Like, I suspect it's not even talked about. I think game 1 and game 3 were really fun. I had a lot of fun those games. I think my team did. I hope Briar did, but game 2 wasn't real. So.
Oh, game 2 doesn't exist?
Nope.
Oh, man. What happened in game 2? I wonder.
Me too. We'll never know.
So, I'm sorry, but I do have to talk about game 2 for a minute.
Oh, wow, okay. You're really going to go there? He doesn't remember it.
Well, no. I don't want to talk about the actual game. I want to talk about the draft. Because I wrote down, we take notes ahead of time, right? My note ahead of time for the Drury University draft was Bard, followed by 5 exclamation marks. And I expected it to be banned every game. And then it was just kind of left up. How often do you actually expect Bard to be left up, or do you just expect to never be able to play it?
I pretty much, it kind of depends on the team. I pretty much never expect to play it. Raymond, before our game on LAN, said, we're leaving Bard open, and then they banned it. So the only team I ever expected to play against it was, or play as it was Briarcliff. But they left it open game 1. The thing is we don't take it every game because we don't like. There's obviously not. I'm really good at Bard, but I'm not gonna pick it every game despite the situation.
Yeah.
I think situation game 2, I took it because any champion I could have locked in game 2, we're not winning lane because it's Son of Seraphine. So it's best to just play comfort and try and win.
Okay, that's a very reasonable answer to that.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. Fat Cat, I have to ask you, you and me, we got to play earlier in the week. Finally, I have invited you to numerous amount of my games. Do you think that played a factor in your dub here today? Is the fact that you finally played a game with me?
Yeah, I learned so much from your ARAM Elise that I think if I hadn't learned that, I don't think we would have won today. I don't know if we would have won another game this season.
This guy knows.
I'm really thankful that you played Elise in the ARAM.
I've literally invited Fat Cat to numerous ones, and like he'll join. We'll be there for like a minute. I'm like, "You good?" And he'll just, "Hey, I'm sorry. My coach told me I can't play with you."
No, it's always during scrims. It's like the only time that you're able to play is when I'm scrimmaging. So like I was able to play, and we won because I was able to play that one.
I'm the worst enemy to scrim blocks.
Yes.
Yes. That last game was a just it went on forever, right? It was back and forth the entire time. What was the % chance in your head when you loaded in through draft that you were gonna see an AP Lux carry and a crit Kate support?
I 0% chance.
Okay.
It like didn't even register at first because it was like, oh, Lux went TP. Oh, Lux is in the ADC slot. Oh, Caitlyn has Hailblades. Okay, so at that point we kind of switched up our idea because usually in that lane, they'll just permanently push, but unless Kate's also hitting the wave, then they're not going to permanently push in the same way. So, they didn't, and we were able to just kind of stay even. Which, if we're Zyra.com, we're so okay with that. Kayla and Lux is only really good if they can hit towers, and because they couldn't hit towers because we were just having a fine lane and I was roaming, then we felt really confident after that.
Totally get that. Let me ask you, Fat Cat, because this is the first time I've had the pleasure of actually getting an interview with you this season. And I want to ask you, because one of the big things coming off of last season was you were like, all right, I got to kind of build this team back up, right? Like, it was a lot of rebuilding effort. Me, personally, I've been very much so hype about, like, some of the young players that you've brought in. Quick Slice on the side lane carries has always been, like, something that I've really enjoyed, of course. And just your whole entire roster feels like it's been coming together, even more so over the season. You've kind of had to step into the leader role, though, it seems like, from away from the screen. How has it been? And tell me a little bit about some of the craziness that comes with being the leader with a lot of these younger players coming up.
I don't think I've been this happy, like, ever. Like, I love my team. I love coming to practice. I love hanging out with them outside of practice. They're all coming over on Monday to my apartment. We're just gonna chill and watch some TV. We go out to eat all the time. I'm really happy with the team that we built because it's not just it's fun to win with them, but it's fun to also hang out with them, which is really nice. After Killer left, we kind of lacked a leader because he was kind of everything for that. So after he left, I knew I had to step into it because I'm kind of the only guy left, and our jungler. But you know, they're a lot of fun. I'm really thankful for them. I don't know if that answers the full question, but I love my team.
It's a good enough answer. We'll take it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Do y'all have like a communal game that y'all play, by the way, when y'all are chilling? Like, I'm sure you guys don't say, all right, let's all get together and play League over at my place, right? Do you guys like play Smash or something like that? What? Give me the lowdown.
No, absolutely not. My mid laner plays WoW. My top laner plays Rocket League. My jungler plays Hearthstone. and my ADC goes on walks. Like I don't think we do anything in common. I've spent time with my cats. Like we are the most like diverse team. I guess my jungler spends time with his cats, but other than that, we don't do anything together too.
3/5 of your team is like, yo, let's go play other games. One of you's like, I'm gonna go enjoy life, and you're like, I'm gonna go enjoy my cats. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, like, I don't know. We don't have like another game other than League that we can bond upon, but like we're cool. We're great friends.
Hey, that's all we could ask for. That's all we could ask for. Anything you want to say to the people who in chat are always saying hashtag all we do is win? Any of the supporters, the fans, you guys got them in spades.
Yeah, shout out my family, my mom, my grandma, my dad, everyone in my family who's watching right now. Shout out my girlfriend. Shout out my boss, Jacob. Shout out my coach. He's the GOAT. Shout out Flock, Ate Your Friends, all of those guys. Yeah.
Hey, we love to hear it. Shout out to them all. Even the coach who doesn't let you play, League of Legends with me. It's cool. But anyways, we'll go ahead and throw it for now. Fat Cat, thank you so much. Congratulations yet again on the victory here on the day. Make sure you take care and enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
Thank you guys. Love you.
I love Fat Cat. I love Fat Cat so much. I love Drury a lot. Honestly, the atmosphere is always good. You love the see what they have inside the Twitch chat. Even when Fat Cat takes the time out of the day to jump into the game and be like, I can't play with you. I'm sorry. It has to happen this way.
You finally got your game. We've been casting it for like 5 weeks, and every week, every time we cast Drury, it's Fat Cat won't play with me.
Exactly, dude. It's a real thing. Every single time on broadcast, I'm casting Drury. I sent an invite to Fat Cat this week. Fat Cat didn't want to play with me, guys. What's wrong with me? I'm a pretty okay carry player in League of Legends. I do okay.
All right. I think we have to end on that now.
Sure. We're gonna end. Before we end up sending everything on off games, there's not going to be any matches up tomorrow. NACL qualifiers are happening at the moment, which is why the schedule has changed quite a bit here on Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you are aware of that. There is qualifiers going on. A lot of collegiate players still chase their dreams to possibly go professional. So if you're not watching us here on Sunday, make sure you check out and support some of your favorite collegiate players there, as well as there's multiple different streams going on for the NA qualifiers. And then on Monday, we're going to be back. We'll have 2 matches set up on Monday. So you make sure you tune in on Monday for more MEC action, and hopefully we'll be back to our normal schedule. I'll get to see you guys next week, and you know what? Hope you all take care. Shout out to everybody who came into the chat today, the ones that were loud and proud. Music Letsy, big shout out to them. MVP for BCU, cheering them on in chat, and shout out to all of the All We Do Is Wins that were dropped inside of the chat as well. That being said, my name's been Travesty. I've been joined here with Mecca. Y'all have a good night.
सागरे